Hello.
सुप्रिया.
हॅलो मॅम.
दोन सुप्रिया. आता बरं झालं, एक सुप्रिया म्हटलं की दोघी हॅलो करतील.
आता दुसऱ्या सुप्रियाचा आवाज बसलाय त्यामुळे ती हॅलो करायला त्यांना
I
प्रॉब्लेम
don't know, very bad throat, इसलिए I won't tell.
She keeps on clicking the photos.
Yes.
ओके. चलो प्रीति,
Yeah.
सुप्रिया, प्रीति स्टार्ट. सुप्रिया अरवारी एंड प्रीति प्लीज स्टार्ट.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
welcome
Preeti, your chin is up.
everybody
Just
to this.
Preeti, just keep your chin down. You're too close to the camera.
Is this okay?
Yeah, this is better. Yeah.
So welcome everybody to the ICOG Masterclass, and today we are going to discuss something which is very different and very unique. We are going to discuss things which are very close to, I think, our own hearts and Pandit Madam's heart, Dr. Suchitra Pandit. I remember Ma'am had started the youth melas in 2013-14, and we had done more than 200 melas all over the country. And this was all to do with empowering the youth, where we wanted to empower them with knowledge, with self-sustaining skills, teaching them self-defense, teaching them how to prevent sexual abuse, how to prevent sexually transmitted infections, how to learn about communication and communicating with confidence, not only at individual level but even at the podium level. And we really had a lot of fun. We talked about contraception, about the physical changes, and I think taking that forward, today's masterclass looks literally like, those good old memories coming back, where we really had reached out to a lot of individuals, and we had done colleges all over the country. I mean, programs all over the country in different colleges. So I think with this masterclass being something similar, ma'am, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity, and I'd like to welcome our coordinators for today, Dr. Shanta ma'am and Dr. Suchitra Pandit madam, our chief guest, Dr. Sunita ma'am, and the guest of honor, Dr. Parag Binivale sir, and all the dignitaries today. Ma'am, can we please have a few words from you, ma'am?
Preeti, just before we proceed, respected President
Yes,
FOGSI Dr. Sunita Tandurkar, ICOG Chair Dr. Parag Biniwale, ICO Chair elect Dr. Sheila Mane, Vice Chair Professor Ashok Kumar sir, General Secretary FOGSI Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar, and Secretary ICOG Dr. Sarita Balerao, conveners for today Dr. Suchitra Pandit madam and co-convener madam, coordinators Dr. Supriya Jaiswal, Mane. A warm welcome to all of you. का सितारा बनकर आए हैं, महकते फूल का नजारा बनकर आए हैं इतनी खुशियां लेकर कि आपकी वजह से हमारा दिल सहारा बन गया है. So welcome to all of you, and let me first and foremost request Suchitra Pandit ma'am, the convener for today, who has taken tremendous pains to put this program together, to please begin with her remarks about this entire program. Suchitra ma'am, over to you.
Dear friends, Dr. Sunita Tandurkar, Dr. Parag Biniwale, and all our senior office bearers from FOGSI and ICOG, a very warm welcome to all of you. Even before I start the program, I want to say a big thanks to Dr. Sunita, because she put me as a convener of the youth cell, and she said, do something where it's going to be of use to the community and use to the young people. So we made certain rules in the last meeting, and once again, she has already put that into practice. Dr. Sunita told me to write to the AICOG office bearers as well as the ICOG and start including young people. Second thing is, she says, okay, you do your program and let's do a pilot. And here we are doing this pilot, and if this works very well, we'll carry this program forward in Dr. Sheila's year as ICOG chairperson. So, Sunita, thank you so much for this opportunity, and over to you, Supriya.
Thank you, ma'am, for those words. Shanta ma'am, who is the co-convener for today, will be joining us later. So, without much ado, I'd like to request Dr. Supriya Jaiswal to please introduce our President, madam, and then we'll have some pearls of wisdom from madam's side.
Yes,
Madam, for you. Yes,
no,
ma'am.
no introduction. Let's come on. We all are friends. Everyone know everyone.
तो मैडम एक शायरी तो बनती है ना,
हाँ चलेगा.
किसी किसी कली किसी गुल किसी चमन में नहीं, किसी कली किसी गुल किसी चमन में नहीं, वो रंग ही नहीं जो तुम्हारे दामन में नहीं. So,
क्या बात.
madam, over to you for your pearls of wisdom.
Nice.
Thank you. This is really our youth, huh, Supriya Arwari. Thank you so much. And thank you, Suchitra. Thank you, Priti, and office and all to remind me again and again. Suchitra, I don't have words to thank you. We had 6 cells. Of course, every cell may not be doing these programs because it is not in their forte, but I just requested you that this cell is so important. And I think you and Supriya, when presented in the managing committee, I really wanted it should not be just for the managing committee on that day. We should do this and we should do that. And I requested you, ki, ensure in AICOG we implement this, because unless we implement whatever we are discussing in the meeting is a waste of a time of everyone. And I don't like that. And I don't know in which mood I have selected Suchitra as a chief convener of that youth cell. Probably her relationship with adolescent, her entry in FOGSI with the adolescent, whatever it is, I thought she is the right person. And this one, Supriya being a adolescent committee chairperson, I thought both of them, they will work and in synergy. And Suchitra, you are great, yaar. मैं भी तेरे जगह इतना sincerely नहीं follow करती. Let me tell you, you followed it sincerely. You ensured that the AICOG is conveyed. You ensured these youth people are taken. And as a pilot project today, you are working on with this Zoom meeting. I was surprised because I was seeing your efforts. They were very palpable, obviously. The amount of efforts you were putting in and working together. And two past presidents, Parag Biniwale, hats off. ICOG chairperson can have two past presidents as a convener for the program is one of the best thing anyone can. That shows how much FOGSI works aggressively, actively with each other, irrespective whether you are in chair or not in chair. And that's the beauty of our organization. So lovely meeting you all. And Sarita, I also would like to have a cup of coffee and cup of tea. So I stopped talking and I enjoy the conversation. Thank you once again, Sujitra. Hats off to you. Sujitra, you are involved in my so many program projects, not from this year, last year. Our EEBR was a last year project. And I saw the amount of sincerity and dependability. What very important in organization is someone is dependable once the work is given, because the president cannot perform without having so many dependable people. I think I have involved more than 1,200 Foxians in various projects. May it be Sampurna, may it be Eagle project, may it be PACE program, and so many. And everyone aggressively and actively worked for it. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this adolescent activity. And I think I'm knowing Bhaskar, he will continue the same team members so that there will be a continuity. And one day it will be maybe a workshop for the adolescent, irrespective of adolescent committee will happen. ICOG is doing amazing work. And I think when I checked ICOG, how they perform, what happens to the outgoing chairperson, and I realized the outgoing chairperson just dissolved in AICOG after doing so much of a huge work. And I thought of starting the oration for on a outgoing chairperson. When I discussed, I knew no one will agree just to give anything to the platter. And that's how, again, FOGSI works with, tremendous rules and regulations. And then I said, it's me who will start, but I don't want on a preconception care or national and international faculty, but I would like to give it to the outgoing chairperson. That's the respect at least we show to the people who have worked very hard. And presidency is directly only 1 year, but sometimes the chairperson comes from 3 years of a general secretary, then the VPs, and then elect, and 6-7 years they have worked for ICOG. जाते हुए सलाम तो करके जाए उनको. So, and I'm going to be there definitely. And I'm so glad that ICOG will be celebrating when they are outgoing from the AICOG. That is very, very important. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, madam,
Thank
for
you,
those
madam.
kind words. Really very sweet of you to say that. We will now proceed with inviting our ICOG chair. But Supriya Jaiswal ma'am, as the convener, as the coordinator for today, I would like you to make a quick comment and introduce Parag sir. Parag sir, दुनिया में अनमोल रतन गिन चुन के बनाए हैं, उसमें से खास रतन आप हमारे बीच में आए हैं. So I'll request Dr. Supriya to make a quick formal introduction, and then we'll request your
No, no, Supriya,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Dr.
No,
Supriya.
no need to
No, no.
introduce me formally. Just one
Dr.
line.
Sunita madam, she
ICOG
never allows
chairman is
anyone
good
to
enough.
introduce her. But anyway, she's there. And Dr. Parag, you also the same way. Both of you are lovely people, very talented, very multi-talented, and still very humble. That is what I can say. And these Pune people are very loving. And I met you people in the VP conference of Dr. Sunita madam. From that time onwards, we have become more close. I got a gem of the person, Supriya Arwari. From that day, madam, I have been very close friend with Dr. Supriya from your VP conference. And Dr. Parag, you were there. So, and Suchitra, madam, thank you so much. I can't tell you, I don't have words. And Parag, sir, you, over to you for your welcome address. You are a wonderful human being. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Supriya, for those kind words. Good evening, all. I bring greetings from ICOG, and it's indeed a pleasure to address the gathering today. And this is a special episode, I must say, because this is all about communicating with the youth. And I must thank and appreciate the efforts put in by the convener of the youth cell of FOGSI, Dr. Suchitra Pandit and Dr. Shanta Kumari, ably supported by Dr. Supriya Jaiswal, Dr. Girish Mane, and Dr. Supriya Arwari and Dr. Preeti Vyas. Preeti, there's a small correction on what information you gave. This all started almost in the year 2004 when Dr. Suchitra Pandit was the chairperson of the Young Talent Promotion Committee. And in AICOG, Agra was the first time when we had the first communication skill workshop. I happened to be part of that workshop as a very young member of the Young Talent Promotion Committee. And that was the beginning. The workshops which she started, I continued as the chair, and Bhaskar, as my successor, also continued the same workshop, and that was the USP of the Young Talent Promotion Committee then. And then this again gave us an opportunity to interact in the youth cell. And when the president, Dr. Sunita, gave us a task of creating activity for the youth, what better we could ask for than this workshop? And Suchitra, it's indeed a pleasure to work with you in the youth cell as where you are the convener, and I'm sure this activity and many more would follow, and it would be tremendously useful for the young members of our society. The program that you have crafted today is really amazing, and I'm especially looking forward to the last interactive session where we have roped in some young doctors and we would like listen to them interacting with the seniors and peers. So thank you very much. My best wishes for the program and happy learning to all the viewers. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Parag. Just to let you know, you and Sunita know that Dr. Amit Patki's son, Akash Patki, is just going to be getting into his MD, MS Gynec, and Dr. Geeta Balsarkar's son, who's already in the second year Gynec. So we thought, since they're youth, we must have two youth representatives on that panel. Just.
much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Parag. And also take this opportunity to welcome Sarita. She'll be speaking to us later. So I think without much delay, we will proceed with the scientific session. And I'll for the first session, requesting the chairpersons to introduce the speakers in exactly 2 or 3 lines, nothing more, like Suchitra ma'am has been giving stress upon, that we need to make this more of an academic activity rather than. So to chair the first session, I will now like to invite our today's session. Can we have the series of the chairpersons, please? Yeah, thank you. It is a pleasure to invite Dr. Vidya Tobi, who will be chairing the session number 1. She is immediate past president of Kasoga 2023. And also, I would like to invite the next chairperson for today, Dr. Manju Puri. Madam is a great academician, teacher, and professor in Department of OBGYN at SGT Medical College, Gurugram. Welcome to both the chairpersons, and may I request you to please start the scientific session by introducing the first speaker for today, Dr. Sarita Bhalera. Also, chairpersons, please note that we have a slight change in program. After Sarita ma'am, Dr. Priya Ganesh Kumar will be speaking to us because she has an emergency to attend to later, and then we will proceed with the remaining scientific session. Over to the chair. Vidya ma'am.
I think I can't see them, Supriya, so maybe we'll give them a minute or two. Otherwise, I can just start.
Okay, by the time the chairperson join, I think then I can request Mitra ma'am. I can see Mitra ma'am. Can you please introduce our chair for today, for our speaker for the session?
So good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all. And it's really a pleasure to introduce the first speaker, Dr. Sarita Balerao, who's our secretary for ICOG. And we all know her. And I think now I'm very, very interested to listen to all the talks. And over to you, Dr. Sarita. You are the opening batsman. Please take us with your thoughts on your topic. Thank you, Dr.
Yeah,
Sarita.
thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Mitra, for that kind introduction. And a big thank you to Dr. Suchitra Pandit for inviting me here, and to Dr. Shanta Kumari, also our coordinators, Dr. Supriya, Dr. Girish Mane, and our MOCs, Dr. Supriya and Preeti, for this entire program. It's going to be a wonderful evening. So can you allow me to share the screen? I'm not getting an option of sharing the screen, please. Can you allow me?
Please, can you make Madam a
Share?
co-host?
Yeah.
Ma'am, you are already co-host, ma'am.
Yeah, but somehow when I'm clicking on share, it's not allowing. Okay, now I've got it. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I'll just go into the slideshow. Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. Can you see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk today as the opening batsman on the importance of communication in today's world. And communication skills have never been more important than they are now. And we all know that today it's a very fast-paced, technology-driven world. But here, face-to-face communication is very, very important. And really, communication for building relationships, it's not just communicating with patients, it's also communicating with our colleagues, our junior staff, running the organization. All these things have become very, very important. We have to have trust and understanding between people, which is crucial and for professional success in this connected world. And so the whole idea of improving communication, I think it's a important priority. And for our young doctors, for our medical students, I think it's really very important that we focus on this. Some of the things some of the things are instinctive, but there's a lot that one can learn from workshops such as these. So here we say that it builds relationships, it improves our social and emotional health. And I think open and honest communication is very important. It can lead to greater trust, deeper connections, and better mental and emotional health well-being. It also resolves conflict, and clear communication is the key to resolving misunderstandings and conflicts peacefully, leading to a stronger bond. And making the working place stress-free is very important. And today there's a lot of studies on improving people's experience at the workplace, and one of the things is to improve communication. And I think that it starts right from the top. If the boss is a good communicator, the whole thing will filter downwards and it will help us. Sorry, I went. Okay. Now, Atul Gawande, very famous author, doctor come author, he said medicine is an imperfect science, an enterprise of constantly changing knowledge, uncertain information, fallible individuals, and at the same time lives on the line. The gap between what we know and what we aim for persists, and this gap complicates whatever we do. So, the communication gap is really the key to bridging this gap, and that's how important communication is. Communication skills are needed at every level, be it a medical college, be it in our institution, right from the medical student, internship, residency, jobs. And I think in private practice, day to day life, whether it's your family or whether it's your colleagues or whether it's your patients, the communication skills are very important. So we want to be safe in practice. That's very important. We want to give good quality service to patients. We want to make academic process. And as doctors, we also want to earn good money and enjoy life to the fullest. And I think that this is very important because sometimes in medicine, we do suffer from burnout. We do suffer from, mental health issues. And if we are able to communicate well, it will help us and our colleagues to get over these problems. How do we have a good favorable maintain? First thing is exchange pleasantries every day. If you just say hello or you say something to somebody, they are immediately drawn to you. Whereas somebody who walks past will, without saying anything, you are making that person go away. Think slowly, think before you speak. Don't speak before don't say anything on a reaction. Ensuring that your body language corresponds to verbal message, and this even applies to things like answering emails, answering WhatsApp messages. Think a little bit. Sometimes nobody's saying react immediately, wait for some time, have a discussion with in case there is a problem, and use the word sorry sometimes, use the word thank you sometimes, because it warms the person to you. Everybody is human, everybody can make mistakes, and everybody can have different points of view. So it's very important for us to forgive and get on and not to punish anyone. And healthy competition is necessary. We don't want to have the crab mentality that I am myself and I can do everything myself, because that's not possible. Nobody can do that. Also agree to disagree and don't get into ego hassles and say that I am always right. Everybody has a right to his or her opinion. There can be a difference of point of view, and one should accept that I accept your point of view, but this is my point of view. That's fine. Let us go into the pros and cons of each opinion. So the core elements of any communication are the sender who creates the message and the person who interprets it. What is the message and what is the medium used? And today communication is not just face to face. We're dealing with phones, we're dealing with emails. There's so much on social media. The situation is changing all the time and the environment is also changing. And it's the relationship with people that is very critical. And I think at the end of the day, it's not how much practice you have or how much money you make. It is finally your feeling of satisfaction, and good communication is the key to this. So good communication starts with listening. Active listening is not the same as hearing. Listening is very important. We have to quietly and sit down and listen to the person and what they are saying, interpret what they are saying. And listening is a very, very powerful communication tool. We sure to use it. And so many times you sit in the clinic and feel that the patient is rambling and saying something which is not relevant to the discussion. But remember that very tactfully you can cut them short, but it is important that they are satisfied that you have listened, heard them, and listened to all their complaints. So sometimes I say, well, fine, I've listened to all the complaints. Now let's prioritize what do you think is the most important, and let's start with managing that first. Of course, we can manage all the others as well, but in due course. And your voice is very important. The volume, the tone, the modulation, and varying the pitch helps to maintain the interest. You should not be shouting, and we don't want to raise our voice, but we want to be heard and very well. And listening skills are also important. And I put this picture of a mobile phone because I said the worst thing is that when you're talking to somebody and they are watching on the phone. So the first thing we do say in our clinic is that please, keep your phone on silent or when you're talking to the doctor. And likewise, the doctor also should say that I'm not answering phones just now. Let's finish your consult. And then in between, of course, we can, answer the mobile phone. Yeah. So that otherwise it can be very irritating if a person is constantly answering the phone while they are talking to you. And that is not mobile manners. And mobile manners are today very, very important. Enhancing clarity and understanding. And here I think that the most important thing with our patients is simple language. Use pictures, use diagrams, simple language, try to explain. You can't sit today, we can't tell them that, listen, you won't understand anything. Just let me, I'm telling you what has to be done. No, they have to understand. Sometimes I tell them, here are some reading points, go through my diagrams, whatever questions you have, come back with it, but we have to spend time. And the important thing is to manage the time and spend the time and let them try to understand what you are trying to say. Good communication is essential. It will reduce errors. It will enhance coordination amongst doctors, nurses, and staff. And I think that empowering patients is very important because informed patients adhere better to treatment plans and improved outcomes. But all this has a heavy bearing on time. And I think there is a talk a little later on efficient use of time, which is so important because all of us have limited time. We have some patient in labor, some OPD here, somebody phoning, but we have to give the patient that time, very carefully. We also have to build trust and satisfaction, some empathy, listening, and compassionate communication. Clear communication ensures that they understand the goals, and a positive environment is very important. And I put in blue some of the messages that I felt are important. Don't get bored, don't get frustrated, and don't get angry. As a doctor, sometimes you can get when patients can be intimidating, but the thing is, if you feel they're getting intimidating, you can always say, why don't you sit outside for a little while? Just think about what I've said and I'll call you in again. And, we can try to diffuse the flame. Also, accurate information is important. Digital tools, protocols can improve workflow efficiency. Better communication reduces readmissions, and multidisciplinary teams are very important where there are different, professionals. Also, messaging, visits, centralized platforms will help us to connect and engage patients. And the bottom line is be prepared to spend time on a consultation. You can't tell the patient, look, to just now I have no time. Then you can tell them that, listen, there's an emergency waiting. Maybe right now I can't address everything. Let's focus on what's emergency today and come back another day when we have a little more time, which will give the message that you are interested to solve their problem and to listen to them. But you have something priority just now, which nobody can help. Build meaningful connections with patients. Networking is important. It's a crucial role in discovering job opportunities. And what I've put in blue is also observe the patient carefully, be alert, and respond to their verbal and non-verbal cues. Strong interpersonal skills do help. People who focus on this will definitely have more success in their careers. Maintain eye contact during face-to-face conversations. These are very important. So in conclusion, I'd like to say, sorry, that all this communication is very important and will help us do better patient management. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sarita. That was really so
Much, Dr.
insightful.
Sarita. That was a really wonderful presentation. Mitra ma'am, would you like to make
Yeah.
some comments for?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, the communication is right now the most important thing in making any kind of contact. And I think you've covered everything very nicely. And we realize that there'll be poor communicators, there'll be very good communicators, but we have to develop our own skill. And one thing which I really liked your thing is you tend to pick up. I think this effort of ICOG, and of course we have followed Dr. Suchitra and Dr. Parag. They came to Rewari and did this communication skills. So basically, I don't know whether it is being used as a subject in the medical college, but we in FOGSI and ICOG have to make sure that we first improve our own communication skills and then encourage. Thank you very much, Sarita. That was a very nice thing, and I think you have having cough, so you couldn't conclude.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much for chairing the session at the last moment's notice. Thank you, ma'am. Can I also now request, since we have Pam, madam, Dr. Shashibala Bhosle, ma'am, to also join Mitra, ma'am, as a co-chair for this session and introduce our next speaker for the day, that is Dr. Priya Ganesh Kumar. Ma'am, please unmute yourself. Pam, ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Okay. I thought the host is deliberately making me mute. Sorry. Being childish in the adolescent thing. Greetings from Gwalior to all my respected seniors. And today, really, this topic which you have taken up, it is the call of the day. Because Suchitra ma'am, yes, I would I agree with all that you have told right now. And Bhalerao ma'am. So, without taking yours, I would love to chair the session. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mane. I can see I can see everyone. So, good evening. I hope I'm clear now.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
just Dr. Priya Ganesh Kumar will be taking up the next topic.
Yeah.
And
Okay, Dr. Priya.
yes,
Okay.
Priya is the medical director of the Sainas Healthcare. And very importantly, she is very much involved in preventive oncology. So I'm going to request her to take over her topic. Priya, are you there?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
madam.
she's there.
Please take
Yeah. Thank you very much, Suchitra madam, and thank you very much, Dr. Supriya, to make me come, jump the line and come little ahead. Because of an ectopic waiting around, I have to rush inside. So anyway, so thank you very much. It is a fantastic topic, and Dr. Sarita has really started the ball rolling in a very fantastic manner. And now my topic goes is with resilience for medical students. And Suchira madam, thank you very much. In fact, I really wanted to thank you personally because this topic is such a very important topic, and today's world, today's era, with a lot of burnouts and a lot of stress. I really thank you for giving me this topic to, sort of share my views onto it. So here we are, resilience. Now, what is resilience? Now, resilience is not about escaping difficulties, but about actually learning to navigate them with courage and determination. And another this thing is statement is resilience is not a trait that the people either have to or do not have. It actually involves a behavioral pattern, thoughts and actions that can be learned and developed by anyone. So, definition of resilience means resilience is the ability to withstand or recover quickly from the difficult conditions or challenges. So, it's not that you're not going to face challenges once you start doing your practice or once you come up into this field itself. We know that the challenges are there, but how quickly are you able to withstand it and how efficiently you're able to navigate it? That's very, very important. Now, I'm going to talk about with the medical students, college students, and I'm also going to talk about junior doctors who have finished their sort of training and they have come up into their practice. So, for medical college students who are actually, prone to mental disturbances due to various factors, and some common causes includes, say, we all know academic pressure and high expectations. Of course, you're a medical grad and you all have come up through this competitive exam, so there's a high expectations from everywhere. So intense competition, heavy workload, they can lead to stress, anxiety and burnout. What about the clinical responsibilities? Again, like you're being exposed to the traumatic or distressing situations such as patient suffering or death. This can be emotional distress onto it. Sleep deprivation, of course, irregular schedules, long study hours, lack of sleep can again affect mental health. Social isolation. Now, till now, you were all like free birds and having your own group. But then again, once you come into medical education, you have a limited social support. You are away. Many of them are staying in the campus, so they are away from their family and their close friends. This can all contribute to the feeling of loneliness and disconnection, and again, financial stress about tuition fees, living expenses, and debts. Lack of coping mechanisms, inadequate stress management skills, a poor time management, limited self care practices. Again, this can exacerbate the mental health issues. Stigma and fear of judgment. Now, fear of being perceived as weak or incompetent can prevent students from seeking help from mental health. And again, high stakes exams. We all have gone through it. We know this, that pressure to perform well on exams, such as licensing exam and all, can be really stressful and anxiety can exacerbate. Bullying and harassment, negative experiences, this also causes mental health problems. And then transitional challenges, adjusting to the demands of the medical school. Then you have the clinical rotation, professional responsibilities. These all can be overwhelming. So as said very nice by Nelson Mandela, the greatest glory in leaving lies not in never falling, but in raising every time when we fall. Overall, the results can be then anxiety builds up, depression, burnout, substance abuse among medical college students. Now, what about in junior doctors? Now, junior doctors often faces their unique challenges, which can contribute to mental disturbances like work-related stress, long working hours, high patient load. You'll have taken, say, loans to then build up those, the EMIs and all that, intense clinical responsibilities, sleep deprivation because of the lack of sleep, night shifts, irregular schedules. Talking about traumatic events, exposure to traumatic or distressing situations like patient death or medical errors. Of course, it's highly emotional, distressing thing. Lack of support, limited mentorship, inadequate feedback, poor communication with seniors. This can contribute to feelings of isolation and uncertainty. High expectations. Now, again, pressure to perform well, meet expectations, and balance the clinical responsibility with academic obligations. Work life balance. You'll have just got married and then you have got your own life, also personal life. So, difficulty maintaining a healthy balance between work and personal life, and then this causing feeling of guilt, stress, and burnout. Fear of mistakes, again, like fear of making medical errors, being sued, or facing disciplinary actions. Lack of autonomy, limited control over your work schedules, patient assignments, and clinical decisions. Again, here, bullying and harassments. And then transitional challenges, suddenly you're exposed, you're like a sort of a consultant, or now you're, again, the role is changed. New roles, responsibilities, work environment, they can be overwhelming. So life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. That's said wonderfully by Charles. Now, do you call this as a burnout, or do you call it as, so what is the resilience and what is burnout? So signs of it are, in burnout you have exhaustion, cynicism, reduced performance, but in resilience it is adaptability, coping, and growth. Now, what are the strategies for building resilience? Self care, that is exercise, sleep, nutrition, mindfulness and meditation, social support with peers, mentors, family, time management and prioritization, and reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. So, resilience is the art of navigating the storms of life and not avoiding them and running from them. When you talk about mindfulness and self care, of course, there are wonderful deep breathing, practices, meditation practices, self care activities, yoga, and journaling. Now, as Augustine just mentioned, that you don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. Many a times we do have lot of thoughts just running in our mind. We aren't mindful about those thoughts, and those keeps on adding up to your mother thought and making a big world. Might be a world which was not like this negative, but we just don't see beyond it because we don't see beyond our thoughts. Again, speak to people, have a good networking. Importance of peer support is extremely important. Mentorship and role models are truly very important. Family and friends, never neither to say, I mean, never to, there is no such place as a supportive place as family and friends, is what I always feel, and we all have felt that. So you are stronger than you seem, braver than you believe, and smarter than you think. Christopher Robin said this wonderfully. And again, now you reframe the challenges, Challenges do come. I mean, every one of us and everyone sitting over here have gone through this, but you have to have a growth mindset and not stop self blaming or self guilt. Learning from failures, just see this as a learning step. And again, take home messages from each. So, life is something which teaches you, but take home messages from there and then work on it, focusing on what can be controlled. So, see, wonderful statement by Japanese proverb, fall 7 times, stand up eighth. Conclusion into it will be resilience is key to success in medicine. Of course, we all know that medicine branch itself it is a stressful branch. Let's accept it honestly. Building resilience requires the efforts and practice. Encourage students to prioritize their well-being. See, if you're healthy and if you are having that positive framework, and a patient, and the most distressing is because of patients who come to us are all distressed thing, right? They do want to have certain things from you. That's why they come to you. And so your energy level should be very high, and you can go through this self-help books and support. See, I brought certain books like The Body Keeps a Score, The Daring Greatly, How to Be Courageous to Vulnerable Transforms, then The Miracle of Mindfulness, then Burn Out, the Secret to Unlock the Stress Cycles. There are wonderful articles like Resilience in Medical Students, Mental Health in Medical Students, Self Care for Doctors, Mindfulness for Medical Students. I think mindfulness is something which most of the doctors and even we consultants, everyone, if you can really read through the mind and read to understand what's happening rather than making a false world around in your mind itself and then thinking that's the truth. No, it's not like that. You have to go beyond it. Websites are there, self-help websites like American Psychological Association, the mighty mental health community. Don't get upset if you have to even take a help of a psychologist. Student Doctor Network, Medscape. Then again, the courses and resources are there, and when we go through it, support hotlines and services are again there. Indian Medical Association are having counseling services for doctors. Then you have these health lines which are brought for you all. And now the last of my this thing is peace is inner light. So I wish you peace, the kind that lights you up from inside, by Shivom. And thank you very, very much. This is a very interesting topic, and we all going through it. We all have gone through it also many a times. Still, we are all learning. It goes for every one of us also. Again, when we talk about junior doctors and medical students, it's more relevant for them. Thank you very much, Suchitra madam, and everyone to invite me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Dr.
so much, Priya. That was a wonderful presentation. Priya is the immediate past chair of oncology committee and a real crusader for cervical cancer vaccine and oncology in general. So thank you so much. Shashibala ma'am, would you like to make your comments on the topic?
Supriya, just to let you know, Manju Puri has joined.
Yes, Manju ma'am has joined. Yeah.
Yeah, Priya, you said that mental chatter. We call it mental chatter because continuously somebody is speaking all the time, and that is because of multitasking. All doctors are supposed to be like efficient in everything. So that is too much expectations from us, and you pointed out that expectations and to make do really wonderful because I've worked for 8 years in the mental those scenarios, so I know what it takes to be balanced. So you have to have a balance of everything. Thank you. It was very, very nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you.
And a warm welcome to Manju Puri ma'am to chair this session. And we will now proceed with the next talk, that is by Dr. Suchitra Pandit. I also acknowledge the presence of Dr. Sheila Mane madam. Madam, at the end of this entire session one, I will be requesting your expert comments. Meanwhile, please do stay tuned with us. And Manju ma'am, will you please introduce our next speaker, Dr. Suchitra Pandit? In 2 to 3 lines, ma'am.
One line is enough.
Well, I welcome Dr. Sujitra Pandit for the next talk. And indeed, a very interesting topic, Dr. Sujitra. And Dr. Sujitra is not someone whom I need to introduce. I'm saying we all know how much impactful her presence is wherever she is. So over to you, Dr. Sujitra.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manju, for joining. And let me just share the slides, please. Just give me half a minute. Let me just.
Meanwhile, Manju ma'am, if you would like to make any comments on the previous two topics.
Yeah, I think both the topics were very good. What I felt was that when Priya was talking about resilience, we also need to understand that as seniors, when we are in medical school, we really need to be very mindful of how our residents feel. Whenever there is a mishap, there is a third victim, and that victim is the resident. Himself or herself. So we need to be very mindful of the mental state of that person as well. So over to you, Dr. Suchitra. I can see your slides now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And once again, for those who tuned in late, great big thanks to Dr. Sunita because she actually encouraged me to go ahead and do this pilot program. And welcome to Sheila Mane. So self-presentation skills, what are they? Self-presentation basically means how can you appear to others in a much better way through your appearance, actions, communication, because you want to create that desired impression. Essentially, you market yourself professionally and socially. And along with that, you encompass confidence, clear speaking, good body language, and tailoring your image to fit the situation because you want that positive perception and you want the connection to the person or the whoever is sitting in front of you. And verbal communication is a very important part of self presentation because you clearly articulate your thoughts using appropriate language and listening carefully and actively to connect with your audience. So, whereas these skills required, as Sarita had said earlier, that communication is important. Similarly, self presentation is required when you want to talk to somebody, interact with a colleague or a senior person during a paper presentation, a debate, a panel, your exam, your vivas, counseling, when you're counseling your patients, or say you're going for an interview, or be it a simple interaction with the patient, your self presentation is very, very important. So, here now I'll go on to a little bit about what exactly you mean by presentation. Self presentation is how you present yourself better, so, how your presentations can be better. Presentations are a way of communicating ideas and information. So it has to have a content, a structure, which is a logical middle, a logical beginning, a logical end. And you have to sequence in such a way that the audience in front of you can understand. The packaging should be well prepared. And remember, any presentation must have a human element because you will remember a good presentation more than a good report because it has a person attached to it. And there is a strategic storytelling. So it could have some experiences, some challenges which can make it memorable and relevant to other people's need. And avoid putting on too much of an accent. Sometimes you've lived abroad, but speak the way normally what people can understand rather than putting on a new accent which doesn't come naturally to you. And voice, again, Sarita had mentioned that very valuable. The volume not too loud. You must have voice modulation. A tone which carries fear can frighten people. So make it a laughter tone and pitch, varying the pace of the pitch to maintain the audience's interest. And whatever presentation you're doing, use a proper projection, a tone variance. Your looks are very important when you're presenting. What you wear should be your choice, but don't wear something very gaudy which seeks more attention than your talk. Wear something that you're comfortable with and what is accepted and suitable to that particular environment, depending on whether you're in your consulting room, your conference, your job, your interview, or whether you're giving a talk in a medical college. Check your slides. Check the height of the podium because short people cannot be seen. Very tall people have to bend over the podium. So check that out. And acoustics. Acoustics are very important, particularly in a large room. You must be heard. And remember, friends, your self confidence is very important. So you should feel good. Your mind should be relaxed. So you're projecting your self belief with a genuine thought, and that's what engages the audience. And body language, हम हमेशा बोलते आ रहे हैं कि your body communicates different impressions. People are not just listening to you, but they're also watching you. So if you have a good posture, it helps the speech to be clearer. Eye contact helps to open and regulate the flow of communication. Of course, in webinars, we can't have eye contact, but in a classroom or in a conference hall or in our OPD setups, we can have that eye contact, which conveys the interest, the concern, the warmth, and the credibility. And have a smiling face, not a very serious face, approachable, friendly, warm on your, your complete demeanor should be there. And non-verbal communications like your gestures, if you're continuously stiff, people may find that boring. Your communication is reflected in your talking and your movements. It's not a strict no-no to walk across, but too much of walking, people can get distracted. So walk in a way that is comfortable on the stage. Importantly, use a positive body language, the facial expressions, the confident posture to reinforce your message. And again, in very large rooms, if you have only 4 people, the people are lost, you're also lost. So try to gauge what is going to be the strength of the audience. In conference rooms, we always decide if there is a oration, we keep a bigger room. If there's a keynote, we keep a smaller room. If there are simple presentations, free papers, we keep smaller rooms because everybody should feel that the room is occupied and not vacant. And listening, again, very important, reinforcing the same point that Dr. Sarita mentioned. Active listening is not the same as hearing. Hearing is the first part and consists of only the perception, but listening is very important, and that's the time you start attaching and giving importance to the oral symbols. Very, very powerful tool. If you see the big MDs or the absolute head of institutions, you go into their room, they will make you sit, they will give you a glass of water, and they will say, okay, now you talk. And they will only add 1 or 2 sentences. So give time for people to hear, give time for people to express their comments. Stress is a very important part of our day-to-day thing. It is necessary. There is something called as a physiological stress, which keeps us going. But there is something that pathological stress. Here the voice becomes higher, the throat gets tensed up, shoulders tighten up. You start getting unsteady. So drink water, take a pause. Don't fight the nerves, welcome them. And remember, feeling tense or anxious is a physiological. Don't let it overcome you because winners use that feeling to their advantage while the losers get overwhelmed by it. And if you have a presentation, if you have handouts, don't read straight from them. And for men particularly, do not push both your hands into pockets for a long period. Sometimes there are keys or there are coins, and people keep jingling them. So again, the attention gets diverted. Use a pointer only when required. Not too much of pointers all over the place. Others people will keep looking at the pointer. And as I said, walk around in a limited amount. And please switch off your cell phone or keep it on a vibrator mode so that you don't get disturbed and the audience doesn't get disturbed. And footstool, particularly for people, I'm short, so I need a footstool so that the podium, I can stand there and talk. So make sure you've got all that ready. Don't lean on the podium for too long. And if you're speaking to an audience, look at them and talk. Don't just keep looking at your visual aids or flip charts. Nowadays, we don't have overheads, but there are times when in a smaller workshop, people are still using them. And remember, friends, you must be confident of what you're talking. So don't just use anybody's presentation if you don't know what the content is. But read, go through that. Sometimes there are ready-made PPTs for a workshop. Go through all of them. And finally, use your background, experience, and knowledge to interrelate to your subject matter. And very importantly, Don't have too much. Don't make your slides very busy. Otherwise, people won't read. Read well, don't use a monotonous voice, and make sure you've arrived in the hall before the audience arrives, and be with the last one to leave, and be prepared. Suppose you feel that the audience is leaving, try to end your topic earlier, because probably either they're not interested or maybe you over delayed your conversation. Write bold colors, but don't have too much of animation. Like for a presentation of maternal mortality, somebody had got firecrackers in the background, which is so ridiculous. So avoid using that kind of an animation. And the time, finish your presentation in time. Post lunch are always going to have sleepy crowds. So pep up and always thank your audience. If there are any questions, do answer without getting annoyed. And friends, do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, try to do even better than that. So thank you very much for a patient hearing. And I'm going to hand over to the right away. Dr. Manjupuri, the podium is
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Suchitra, for a very, very crisp talk and sharing very lot of practical points as far as the presentation of the healthcare provider per se and making a presentation. Both the aspects you have covered, and very nicely you have pointed out all the important aspects. So I think ultimately it comes down to that one has to be looking approachable. You should be approachable and you should be respectful. So once you are respectful, the other person is also going to be respectful. That is as far as your own connect with all around people all around you is concerned. So wonderful session, wonderful talks, and glad that soft skills are being discussed. So and also
Thank
about
you.
verbal and non-verbal. So we may not be kind of saying anything bad, but we can still be very nasty. So that is what we need to understand. So you have to be welcoming. I think that is what is most important. And
Absolutely.
thank you for sharing your experience and your wisdom in your presentation. Thank you so much.
So, Manju, introduce the next speaker also.
Yes, can someone share the details of the next speaker, please? Yeah. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ragini. Yeah, and she's again a very dynamic person, and she's got multiple she's got multiple core qualities, and she's into many things, and she does them very effectively, and she is a born leader. So over to you, Dr. Ragini, for your talk.
She has started her recording. Madam has sent the recorded lecture. She will join on mobile.
All right. Wonderful. All right.
I am Dr. Ragini Agarwal. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity in this webinar. Thank you, Dr. Parag and Dr. Suchitra Pandit. Dear friends, youth is a very, very important part of any society. They write our history. With the blessing of God and the gratitude to one and all, the topic given is to me is time is important. Manage it well. Yes, it is very important for youth, but I as far as I am concerned, anyone who is attending this, whether he is youth or not, it is going to benefit everyone. Time is the greatest equalizer. Everyone gets 24 hours, but outcome differ by how we use it. We all know that time is irreversible. Jata samay aata nahi hai. Time is limited, lost is never regained, and how you use the time shapes your future. So understanding the barriers is the first step to overcoming them. Why a person wastes their time? Social media addiction. Everywhere people are walking and their eyes on their phone. Delay due to comfort, peer influence, and lack of clarity. So when you think time management, you have to manage your energy also. You have to focus on the fixed schedule, deadline-driven tasks, calendar blocks. The limitations are treats all hours equally, ignores personal rhythm, and can lead to burnout. And when you focus on the energy management, there's a natural energy cycles, peak performance periods, strategic renewal, and the benefit is high quality output, sustainable productivity, and the better work-life balance. But what you have to do, you have to manage both. So the hybrid approach is must and combine structure scheduling with energy-aware task allocation for the optimal results. Myth is multitasking is work. But friends, believe me, multitasking only going to do some confusion. It reduces quality of work, reduce efficiency, increase stress, and impaired cognitive function also. So you have to focus wins over speed. Why focus wins? You move faster, you learn more progress, confidence builds, and the build value. So you have to focus on the success. Swami Vivekananda, I consider him as the biggest MBA teacher. Every single quote given by him is having a great value. Do one thing at a time, and while doing it, put your whole soul into it to the exclusion of all else. The Petro principle is in time management state that 80% of the results will come from the 20% of your effort. So it can help us focus on the activities that will have the biggest impact in lives. What is the biggest time drain for the youth? Unplanned studies schedule, binge content, late night habits, overthinking, comparing with others. So what strategies or solution we should do for the smoother workflow? Start each day with a plan. You have to declutter your mind, improve efficiency, enhance focus, better decision making, and help others and better work-life balance. So all this scheduling will give you a clarity and direction, motivation and focus, measurable progress, and adaptability and growth, enhance time management, and increase confidence. Goal can be short-term or long-term. There's some acronym like a SMART goal setting. There's a new for me also when I'm studying for this particular presentation. Your goal should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Only then you will go and get a success. So daily planning strategy should think about your day in advance. Practice productivity, improving rituals, use a planning tool, break the week into parts, use task balancing, keep your professional and personal life separate, learn to take action, have a realistic assessment of yourself, celebrate success and achievements, and focus and prioritize self-care. Not only this, you have to plan your week also to maintain a consistency. And it is a pyramid-like thing. Productivity tools and planning methods have a bigger role in planning a routine. And then there should be a primary goal for the month. It is not more than one or two. Otherwise, again, it will be a cluttering and you will be not successful. So you have to prior that time management. What is the power of the priorities? Identify your priorities, set realistic deadlines, learn to say no. That is the most important thing. Your friend will come say, chalo, picture chalte hain, but you want to study. It is not your time to go for the picture. You should be firm and said no politely. Use technology to your advantage and take breaks. Establish a consistent routine because it provides a structure, reduces decision fatigue, and promotes a sense of calm and control. Create a routine that aligns with your natural rhythms and the preferences, incorporating time for work, rest, creativity, and the personal pursuits. ये decision fatigue क्या होता है? Decision fatigue is a phenomenon that occurs when a person makes numerous back-to-back decisions, leading to psychological and the emotional exhaustion. It experiencing the worsening mental health symptoms such as anxiety and depression. I already told you, learn to say no, protect your time, avoid time-wasting activities, value your priorities. What is digital discipline? Lots of tools are there available on the apps on the net you can use. So they will be this Pomodoro technique, which I have read on the net for this presentation. The 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break, repeat 4 cycle, although I don't believe in it. If you focus on your work and you know how to do it, and other things like say to know and consistency, you are going to get a better time management. Always avoiding last minute rush. Start early, break tasks, avoid perfectionism. Procrastination is natural but manageable. Break down tasks, just start. Practice self compassion, manage your environment, reframe your mindset, find accountability, prioritizing health and well being, and reward yourself at the end with a pizza. So, time for skill development. That is very, very important because skill is as important as developing your time. Invest minimum 1 hour per day in some skill which you think it is of a value for you and builds future security. Reading give you a wide horizon and wide understanding of the whole world, improves memory, boost focus, increase knowledge. Now, health, never leave your health alone. Exercise and a balanced diet is a must. So time invested in people builds emotional strength. Time for relationship is a very, very necessary. Connect with family, friendship, network with the mentors. Time is currency in the relationship. Again, you have to have a time for yourself, me time. You have to write a diary, do the meditation, review your progress, whatever way. But you should have a me time and your own auditor you are. Digital detox moment is must. No phone zones, no screen morning. Social media free weekends always is very easy to say than to follow. So positive environment is equal to productive mind. Avoid time killers, drama, gossip, negative people, excessive gaming, and the uncontrolled environment is the key. Discipline is the key to take you to the height. It is a bridge between the goals and accomplishment. So always have a disciplined life. Technology can help if you have use it wisely, like Google Calendar, Notions, Trello, habit trackers, lots of things are available on the net. Build a time wealth mindset. Time is an asset. Spend wisely, invest in the future growth. So friends, start today, plan tomorrow, protect your time, upgrade yourself. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. आज में जीना है, कल में नहीं. कल किसी ने देखा नहीं. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.
So thank you, Dr. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ragini, for your talk on time management and putting it in the contemporary context and to say how it is. It also takes into account what are the various areas where the time management is not done these days, and it is not a balance. So time management becomes very important, and I think a disciplined life is what leads on to time management. And all the topics which we have covered right from the beginning, from the communication skills to the presentation to the time management and resilience, let's all understand everyone has some qualities in which are inbuilt and genetic, but I think all these qualities can be learned. It is not that if you are not too good at it, you can't make it better. So I am sure that everyone should aim for having a very disciplined life, and also do some lifestyle modifications and have your me time. Spend time on your health. And if you have invested well in time and you have planned your day well, the output is so much more. I think that is what we need to understand. So thank you so much for these beautiful talks. Very informative and very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manjupuri, for coming in and giving in all those expert comments. And I think we decided upon all these topics in the youth cell, and we thought, all of us as members of the youth cell will give in our deliberations. And thank you so much. Over to the next session, Supriya, Preeti, can I ask you all to take over? Dr. Supriya, Preeti, can you invite the chairpersons of the next session, please? I think Dr. Gauri Karandikar is already, I see her there. Dr. Gauri Karandikar and Dr. Charmila Ayabu. Dr. Gauri Karandikar is a consultant from Nasik, and she is the president-elect of the Nasik Obstetrics and Gynecological Society, and very interested in the adolescent initiatives. She's herself done a lot of work on the adolescent initiatives through FOGSI and UNICEF. Over to you, Gauri. And my next chairperson is Dr. Charmila Ayabu, who is the past vice president of FOGSI and director of Aditi Hospital. And she is a wonderful orator and an important part of the Justosis India Association. So I'm going to hand over the reins to you, Gauri and Charmila, to introduce the first speaker. Gauri? Gauri Karandikar?
Sorry, I host was not allowing.
No problem.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, just invite Gauri. I've already introduced her. Gauri, I saw her online.
We would like to request some expert comments from Sheila, ma'am. Sheila, ma'am, are you still there?
Sheila said she'll join later, Supriya. So I think introduce Dr. Malhotra and we'll get on with the first talk.
Okay, then we'll just proceed. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Gauri, can we please have the
You want me to do the honors, Supriya?
Somebody who needs
Preeti, you can do it
to this office gathering, and that is Dr. Narendra Malhotra. So, Gauri, can I request you to quickly make a introduction in 2 to 3 lines?
No line.
Supriya, if she's not there, let
Preeti
do it.
No
problem.
Yeah.
Preeti,
I'll introduce Supriya. Yeah. So welcome, sir. I think Dr.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Welcome, sir. And how are you? Dr. Narendra Malhotra doesn't really require any, I think, introduction in this August audience, but I would still love to do the honors. Sir is the managing director of the Global Rainbow Healthcare and is director also of the ART Rainbow IVF Center, the director of the FOGSI Smriti Manyata program, and he's the one who's like spearheaded this Manyata CSE program, with the vice president of the Society of Ovarian Rejuvenation, the director of the project Positive Health in the Rotary District. Sir has like a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things that Sir has on the list, it'll just not get over. But he has been the past president of FOGSI, ISAR, IFMUB, the ISPAD, the ICMU, the AOGS, and the founder editor of the SAFOG Journal. With a lot of publications and awards and editorials on his thing. Sir, welcome, sir, and would really love to listen to your talk on prevention of substance abuse.
So very good evening.
May I add with reference to the previous lecture, only you could come up with the brainchild of a conference where fun is involved as well as a conference, so that everybody has their share of fun also. Thank you so much for that, sir. Thank you. And please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Very good evening to all of you. It's indeed a pleasure to be always associated with youth and to talk about the problems and the issues which are there. One of the biggest issue which I see not only in the youth, in all the adults, is substance abuse. And I'm going to take you through generations and what we should be doing on prevention. I bring you greetings from all the associations I have headed and from our hospital in Agra. What we're going to try today is briefly understand how substance use pattern have changed, recognize what is the health and social economic impact of substance abuse, identify some key protective factors of these disorders, and describe the evidence-based strategies to prevent substance abuse today. And we'll try to outline the role of families, schools, communities, health professionals in this prevention. Let's first understand what is substance abuse. Now, substance abuse is the use of psychoactive substances like tobacco, alcohol, illicit drugs, prescription drugs in a harmful or hazardous way. Remember this. And it is characterized by the loss of control over use, continued use despite of knowing it is harming, craving and compulsive use, tolerance and withdrawal, that is dependence. And the common substances which are abused today are alcohol, tobacco, cannabis, opioids, sedatives, stimulants, inhalants, and the new psychoactive substances which are available over the counter and on online. Now, let's see how the generations behaved. Our older generation used to smoke and drink because they had no idea about the awareness of health risks and there were no regulations. Then, our generation, there was rising use of alcohol and tobacco and some prescription drugs. But at this time, there was a beginning of the illicit drug epidemics. The current youth is a mixed picture. Now, some of them decline tobacco smoking because they know it is, but have started vaping. Now, vaping is another thing of smoking all these drugs, especially marijuana and all. And they've started using synthetic drugs and non-medical use of medicines like the cough syrup scandal, which is going on right now. Globalization, urbanization, social media, stress, all these are responsible for availability and attitudes of substance abuse. So 1950s, people used to smoke and alcohol, but limited control on these. 80s to 90s, when the HIV era came, the injecting drug use, and there was now control of tobacco and alcohol in many countries. Then the 2000 to 2010 decade, cannabis came in, club drugs came in, prescription opioids came in, and internet drug markets selling all these. And this decade, we have synthetic opioids, amphetamine type stimulants, polydrug use, online marketing, and a very dark web which is there. Now, according to the survey which happened in 2019, I think, no, 21, 296 million people from the age of 15 to 64 are using all these psychoactive. And there are 3.2 million deaths annually only due to alcohol and drug combined, with alcohol causing about 2.6 million deaths a year. Now, today, cannabis is most commonly used, and especially it has been legalized in many countries, even in America, as medical cannabis for painkillers and endometriosis and cancer. Now, this study in 2019 survey in India showed that alcohol was most common psychoactive substance, opioids came next, heroin and opium, cannabis, because in India, at every corner of any city or two-tier city, you have a theka of bhang and charas. The bhang is officially bought, and it is like like offered to God Shiva and all that. And Shivaratri, you see everyone having bhang, and Holi, everyone having bhang, thandai, and all that things. And then, of course, is the injectables, which in India, luckily, they come last when the risk of hepatitis A, B, C, and HIV remain with it. Now, what will these drugs cause? Now, these drugs cause a lot of problems at individual level. That means the physical health will get affected, mental health will get affected, depression, anxiety, social and education will get affected. So poor academic performance in school, colleges, college dropouts. Legally, there'll be conflict with the law and criminal records. Spiritually, this person who is addicted is going to use self-esteem and hopelessness and broken relationships. How does this happen? It begins with curiosity, social pressure, and stress. And then they start with just trying, that is an occasional use. Then they start with a recreational use, only in the parties. And then there'll be loss of control and compulsive use. And then finally, dependence and health and social problems. And then when you put them into treatment, recovery or relapse is more likely to happen. So at each step, we can have some action. What are the risk factors and protective factors? Early conduct problems, trauma, mental health, low parental monitoring, family conflicts, substance using peers in the family and the friends, easily available substances. And the proactive factors are that secure the attachment. Positive parenting should be taught, and there should be some clear family rules. There should be a very strong school bonding, life skills, and academic engagements. There should be supportive community, pro-social activities, and effective policies and the laws. So the levels of prevention, as in everything, are primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary is prevent or delay the initiation. So that's in the school programs, policy. Secondary is when you identify these people and put an intervention there among the at risk. So counseling and screening is there. And tertiary is when they're already addicted, put them into treatment, rehabilitation, and try to prevent relapse of these uses. What will work long term? What is going to work is skill based school programs starting in late childhood and early adolescence. Family skills will work because it will strengthen parenting, communication, and supervision. Community will work, coalitions coordinate with local preventions, treatment, enforcements. Policies have to be in place like taxations, age limits, outlet densities, marketing bans of all these drugs which are freely available now wherever, and early identification of the vulnerable group of children and the street children and with families who have already have substance abuse. So what do we need to put in? We need to have a comprehensive national policy on alcohol, tobacco, and all these drugs with the public health goals. We need to regulate the marketing, pricing, packaging, availability of legal substances, alcohol school, no alcohol shops, no tobacco shops near schools, near temples, near the places where all the youth gather frequently. A balanced approach to illicit drugs, shifting the focus from punishment to treatment and rehabilitation, which is very important. Strong enforcement against the trafficking and illegal sale by those who do, especially if they're selling to minors. And then you have to have a regular monitoring system, so surveys are there. Ban what digital era is doing is it's worsening the thing by online marketing, easy access to information on all the drugs, influence of the social media, which we were just hearing, like movies, music, everything is alcohol or drug dependent now. And this will also offer us a great opportunity to start digital campaigns, put apps, chat based helplines, prevention counseling, online training of teachers, parents, health workers, everyone. What is for the younger generation of doctors, the postgraduates, how they should be? So, in the OPD, they should try to be an early identification. So, that early identification and referral to the correct place. They can use the WHO SS tool, which is a screening tool for risk and can be downloaded from the internet. They should provide a brief intervention, that means 5 to 15 minutes of counseling, start it and then shift them to a detailed counseling. Motivational interviewing for behavioral change and a very timely referral is. So, how do we, these doctors or we should go about? Step one, screen them for risk behavior. Step two, assess them on their mental and physical health, do some tests if required. Step three, counsel them, brief intervention, motivational tools. Step 4, treat them pharmacologically when indicated. Step 5, prevent the relapse and do the treatment. What are the treatments available? The doctors should know this. There are drugs for alcohol use, naproxen, acamprosate, and disulfiram, opioid dependence, buprenorphine, methadone, naloxone, nicotine cessation, you have nicotine replacement therapy, buprenorphine, withdrawal management, you have CIWA-AR scale for alcohol withdrawal, and all these should be coordinated with the psychiatric or the treatment should be combined. So the tips for young doctors who are here listening or who are going to start practice soon, avoid any moral. Usko bolna hi nahi hai you are a druggie. So that moral judgment is don't have to make. You have to create a trust and you have to look for comorbidity, depression, anxiety. You have to involve the family. And of course, you have to document everything for medical legal. So here's a case scenario which I came across. 19-year-old male, daily alcohol use for 2 years. So he started at 17 because the family was drinking and he used to steal from the family bar. And when they noticed tremors, sweating, anxiety, tachycardia, they brought him to the counseling session and we did a scale. To see the withdrawal, we put him on diazepam. If it was moderate and severe for a short period of time, and then of course we did not put him on thiamine to prevent Wernicke's encephalopathy, but did the counseling. Another case of opioid heroin dependence in school. So again, you have to, under supervision, give them drugs, counsel them on the harm reduction, safe injection practices, and de-addiction services. The drugs I've just told you, the doses can be got in any textbook. Naproxen 50 milligram per day, nausea, avoid liver failure, disulfiram 250 to 500 milligram, but it causes flushing with alcohol. Opioid use, buprenorphine 2 to 16 milligram. Beware of the constipation. Methadone 10 to 40 milligrams. QT prolongation in the ECG. Nicotine cessation. NRT gums are there. Patches are there. Skin irritation. Buprenorphine and the other drugs which can cause some vivid dreams and all. If it is an emergency, then acute withdrawal syndrome have to be admitted, vitals have to be monitored, overdose has to be checked, IV line has to be set up, stimulant toxicity, cooling has to be done, and if it is severe agitation, sedation and airway protection is very, very necessary. So the national global guidelines to follow are the WHO guidelines, the NODC drug preventive standards, the NACO guidelines, which are for HIV but for harmful addiction also, and the National Mental Health Program by the Government of India. What are our ethical responsibilities? Maintain confidentialities. Do not go spreading, "Arey uska beta to druggy hai." No, please no. Inform consent if it is minor from the parent. Mandatory documentation. Avoid stigmatization language. Treat with empathy and report only when legally mandated, like minors or violent cases or trafficking. So how do we start communication? Well, when they bring you this child to you, I understand it is difficult to talk to you. You are safe here. Can we discuss your substance problem openly? It seems that you want to quit, but I know it is challenging. What would be the benefit if you reduce your quit? So you have to decide. And in the end, hope treatment works and I'll support you through it. So substance abuse pattern key home messages are changing across generation, but continue to cause major health and social harm. Most substance abuse begins in adolescence and in young adulthood, so prevention has to start early. Effective prevention focuses not on building skills, resilience, not scare the tactics or frightening them. Families, schools, community, policymakers must work all together and the treatment works. People have to understand recovery is possible. Stigma should never be a barrier to seeking help, and relapse should be taken in. What are the juniors who are attending, especially the ICOG? These are some of the ASCII questions which can be asked on this topic. How do you define substance use? What are the list of withdrawal symptoms? Explain CIWAR scoring. Mention first line drugs for alcohol addiction and demonstrate briefly the counseling and motivation. And I'm sure this talk is being recorded and will be played, or if anyone wants, I can just email or WhatsApp the talk to them. The key references which you all should read is WHO Global Status Report, WHO new release in June 2024, UNDOC World Document, that is the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, Ministry of Social Judgment and Empowerment, Government of India, magnitude of substance use 2019, UNDOC and WHO, that is the International Standards of Drug Use Prevention, and a lot of and additional national data is available for it. Lastly, we should have a poster everywhere saying, "Say no to drugs." Thank you very much, Dr. Suchitra, for giving me this opportunity to discuss a very important problem which our adolescents and young adults are facing. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yes, Gauri, please take over.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Malhotra, as comprehensive and well covered as usual, and very informative. So important as of today. Drug abuse is so common, and in the urban, rural, and all populations. And we do have a lot of problems that are coming up. And like you rightly said, social media is doing much more harm than and making it difficult for us to manage it. So thank you very much for also putting up the questions that was really nice, the nice gesture. And thank you, Dr. Suchitra, for having me here.
Thank you so much, Gauri. Is Dr. Charmila here on board? Yes, ma'am. So may I request you to please introduce the next speaker for the day, Dr. Chinmay Rata. Thank you, NM sir, for a wonderful presentation. Really very impressive. Charmila, ma'am.
Depression, speak up. Hello. I'm sitting in the
Yeah.
airport, Supriya. That's why it will be little
Oh,
this
no
thing.
problem, no problem, madam. Then I can request Gauri to do the needful. Gauri,
Yeah,
can you
I'm
please
listening to the
introduce?
talk. Yeah, I'm listening
Yeah.
to the
Yes,
talk.
so
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm
And have a
extremely
safe
thankful to
flight, ma'am.
Suchitra madam for inviting me. Nobody can beat Suchitra madam as far as social obstetrics is concerned. Where 10 years back, she was I think, the pioneer who started on adolescent health. And I think madam is continuing. And this topic will be dealt with by Dr. Chinmayi Ratha. She has been the chairperson of the perinatology committee and a great organizer, a great academician. It's an honor to listen to you, Chinmayi. Please start your talk. Thank you.
Dr. Chinmayi, can you please share your slides?
Dr. Chinmay is going to speak on a very important topic on depression and speak up. That is something which is also one of the important topics of today. Loneliness is something which is going globally. So, very important topic, Dr. Chinmay.
Madam Chinmay ma'am must
Disconnect
be
हो
logged
गया.
out. Yeah,
No,
disconnect.
I
she is.
think
Has
she
she
logged
joined?
out.
She is at the airport. She is at the
Yeah.
airport in Ahmedabad. Whether she's checking in or boarding,
Okay. Shall
something
we
you will have to check.
shall we do one thing? Shall we
Take
just ask
another topic.
Preeti, Shanta or Preeti to take in? If Preeti is around, can Preeti or Shanta, whoever is available?
Yes, Shanta ma'am has signed in.
I
Yeah.
am here.
Madam is here. Madam is here.
Yeah. So Shanta,
Can I request the chairpersons to please introduce Shanta ma'am again, a figure who requires absolutely no introduction to the FOGSI crowd, but still to do the honors. Gauri, are you there?
Yes, very much.
Yeah,
So,
please go ahead.
it's my immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Shanta Kumari. She has been the president of FOGSI 21-22, a senior consultant and laparoscopic surgeon at Hyderabad. More important is that she is a FIGO member for Committee for Human Rights, and she's doing extensive work on violence against women and girls. And I think she has brought this Dhira program in a great way. I think all she has so many accolades and achievements to her credit that I think we will listen to her talk rather than I go on with this. She is an illuminous figure. Ma'am, we welcome you to this talk. Dr. Shanta Kumari, ma'am, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you very
Welcome,
much.
ma'am. Welcome.
hi Shanta.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I think I just joined, and Supriya, yes, let me just share the.
Yeah.
Where is it? I can't see. 1 second.
Nilima, can you please help madam make her the
Oh,
co-host?
I got it.
Yeah,
Done, ma'am.
okay.
Can you see it?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I think we should congratulate ICOG for doing all this excellent work on, I think, all this, I think, having webinars on different topics. And I think Suchitra, who has been working on adolescents, has chosen to do this with the committee, of FOGSI committee. So I congratulate all of you who have been involved in doing this webinars. Well, friends, I'm actually not a very big fan of webinars, but I have had the opportunity to join you all, and I've just heard Dr. Naren Malhotra, as usual, who has been very dynamic. And in fact, if there is somebody who cannot refuse, it is Supriya, who will go on, be insistent and persistent, and see that we do. So that's how we are here. And yes, adolescence is a very, 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 I think was one of the most difficult phases in a child's life and in a parent's life. I think so. We have actually been seeing that adolescence is a phase, and we need to look at the impact of the psychological, physical, and sexual violence on adolescents. So I bring warm greetings from the IAHR, International Academy of Human Reproduction. On the 5th to 7th of November, in fact, there was a workshop only focusing on the adolescents at Athens in Greece. And it was one event where I've realized that there is so much more we need to do about adolescence. So we thought and we think always that we know everything, but there is still so much that we don't know, and we need to work on this very important phase of a human life, because this is the stepping stone to the next phase to be the better citizens of the country. So, friends, adolescence is definitely a critical development phase, and the prevalence of violence is there in adolescent population, and we need to understand the impact of prevention. And it is definitely an hidden crisis, and understanding the devastating effects of violence on young people and pathways to preventing and healing is so very important. The psychological, physical, sexual violence in childhood and adolescence affects the well being and development of adolescents. And consequences may not be immediate. While they may seem to be there, but they can persist throughout, and they go into the adulthood, affect the overall health. And that actually contributes to the overall burden on the person, family, society, and of course the nation. And psychological violence, the non-physical acts, you it may be simple things like nickname calling, humiliation, social exclusion, threats, unrealistic goals, body shaming. But these are all the things which will affect an and person to such an extreme effect that we don't know what sort of a future holds for that particular adolescent. And the scope and of the adolescent is violence against adolescents represent one of the most pressing, well, and unfortunately still under-addressed public health crisis. And every time we think, oh, we know everything, but in fact, we don't know everything. 65% of the teens experience psychological abuse. 19% dating violence. 1 in 4 girls at the risk of violence with the physical sexual partner. Impact, emotional, behavior effect, especially the withdrawn and poor academic performance. And the effect of this self concept erodes the self esteem, and that's so important. And it impacts the cognitive development, behavioral patterns, and the effect is on the academic performance and the school absenteeism, which is so important. Physical violence, bruises, injuries, fractures, fear, trauma, the PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, such a lasting impression it can leave, long term effects, the chronic health issues, aggression, behavioral problems. So, violence is touching every community. There's no community which is left free of violence throughout the world. An impact, look at the chronic damage, the risk of substance abuse. There's a cycle of violence, the effect on body image, the scars, disfigurement affecting self esteem. We all know what sexual violence is, and examples are assault, harassment, and molestation. Teen dating violence is a widespread public health issue. By the age of 21, 51% of females report dating violence. 43% of males report dating violence. So it is not actually involving only girls, it involves boys and girls together. So we need to look at adolescent as a whole. There is no gender and demographic disparities. We look at the females, they suffer more, the LGBTQ youth, the low income teens, and racial and ethnic differences of violence rates are existing, but it is there everywhere. Now, what's the impact? We have seen the great vulnerability to future abuse because it impacts their education future goals. And psychologically, shame, guilt, and they grow up with difficulties in trusting others, with sexual dysfunctions and suicidal thoughts. Mental health issues, depression, anxiety disorders, substance abuse, delayed development, all these affect their mental health. We look at the immediate and long term impacts of the adolescent, and the psychological depression, when you look at it, risk is 66%. The anger response is 74%. And this creates a lot of harm to the adolescent. Toxic stress is altering the adolescent brain architecture. That brain, which is an adolescent brain, is particularly vulnerable to trauma with the violent exposure. And that makes it difficult in the neural pathways. So we have to be aware there's not only what we are talking, there's some deeper science for the effect of all these types of violence on the growing brain of the adolescent. So the consequences of mental health, Now, what we see is, along with all the anxieties and mental stress and all, the eating disorders, we find such an high incidence of obesity. That is a consequence of this sort of violences, emotional, a feeling of shame, guilt, and lower self esteem. Then we have talked about the self harm, problems of like gambling, suicidal tendencies, the use of psychoactive substances. These are the most important dreaded problems which an adolescent can actually get into: the tobacco, cocaine, opioids, and other drugs. Well, it reflects into isolation, stigma, shame, difficulty in trusting others, and at the same time, bullying and peer violence. Patriarchal roots of violence, we find it's deep rooted in some gender norms, sometimes the structured factors like the child marriages, economic dependency. It is creating environments where the adolescent girls are facing more risk of violence with limited pathway of safety. They're all overlapping. Whatever we talk, everything's overlapping. And the consequences is the psychosomatic diseases, asthmas, cancers, sometimes heart diseases, early unwanted pregnancies, we know, risky compulsive sexual behaviors, sexual dysfunctions and difficulties, the STDs and bloodborne infections. Other problems sometimes is the urinary incontinence during sleep, the digestive problems, headaches, stomach aches, chronic fatigue, the IBS, migraine, and sometimes leading to weight loss and insomnia. So the risk factors, the family environment, the peer influence, community violence, socioeconomic factors, exposure to substance abuse. It has an educational and vocational impact, poor academic performance, dropouts, and limited future opportunities. That is a phase of the maximum development, and it can make their future bleak because there can be decreased motivation. Relational, social, economic consequences, difficulties at school, then externalizing behavioral problems, the loss of family ties, relationship and parental difficulties. All of us know how very difficult it is to raise an adolescent child, and that is a phase where they're at maximum risk to actually wean away from the family and get into problems. So these neurobiological effects, the sleep distance, everything are linked to each other. We need to look at the legal and human rights perspective. The legal protection for adolescents is so very important. Reporting injustice, challenges in reporting abuse, legal process, the child and adolescent rights, the role of law enforcement, like ensuring justice and victim protection. The POSCO Act of India is there to take care of this rights on the adolescents. The physical sexual violences, which is beyond the visible injuries. Sexual violence can actually include forced sexual act, non-consensual sharing of intimate images, sexual coercion, manipulation, unwanted sexual contact. So when you look at this, academic and behavioral consequences, the academic performance, decline in the grades, risky behavior, substance abuse, mental health crisis, which is an ongoing problem. The cycles of violence, what happens? Early exposure, witnessing or experiencing violence in adolescence. So they can actually normalize violence, thinking, accepting the harmful behavior as normal in relationship. And that can affect the adult relationship, higher risk of intimate partner violence later in life. Next generation, perpetuation of violence pattern in the future relationship. Social media and violence amplification, the digital harassment. This year, the 10 days of activism on no to violence against women, we are focused on no to digital violence. The most important problem for in today for the adolescent is the social media and which is can be a double-edged sword. And that is something we have to see because online stalking, monitoring, public humiliation, sharing of intimate images, cyberbullying, threats, the digital space is creating all sorts of abuse, which is actually complicating life for adolescents. Attitudes fueling violence, rigid gender roles, peer pressure, unfortunately, they're still there and we have to accept it. Prevention, intervention, hope, despite the alarming scope, evidence based intervention prevention strategies offer pathways of breaking cycles of harm and building healthier futures. So, early prevention, school based programs, do comprehensive curriculum focuses on the healthy relationship. We had the FOGSI school programs. I think for more than 30 years we have been doing from the time I started taking an active part in the national FOGSI. It was with the school based programs. So we have FOGSI, for example, has been doing this for more than 30 years. Family involvement, engaging parents, and caregivers in violence preventing education. Community engagement, mobilizing local organizations, faith communities, civic groups, everyone needs to be involved. And research consistency demonstrates that prevention programs are most effective when they begin early and involve multiple systems that touch adolescents' lives. So, skill based intervention like emotional regulation, communicational skills, building up the communication, bystander training, the peer led initiatives and digital monitoring programs demonstrate particular promising results in reducing violence risk factors among adolescents. The legal and social reforms make sure that they're available. We need to look at the critical policy changes in all the countries. The government has to accept that they need to take it. And I'm very proud to say that our India is doing good in this field. Support service for adults in trauma informed counseling, the safe spaces, physical virtual environment where survivors can access without fear or judgment, economic empowerment, job training, education support, the financial literacy program that provide pathways to independence. If you remember, we had always talked about the adolescent clinics, which we said all the gynecologists need to have adolescent clinic maybe sometime in the afternoon, but so that the adolescent can feel free to come and ask for help. Healing begins with support. So we need to actually empower the survivors. The role of technology in prevention, predictive analysis, youth digital education. I think social media can be used to empower the youth. Awareness campaign, use it, challenge. Community success stories, US school programs have shown that there was 30% reduction of dating violence over 3 years because of this this particular digital explanation. Urgency of action. No country is currently on track to eliminating violence against women and girls. Adolescents is a critical window of opportunity for intervention. Let's utilize that. Call for action and policymakers. Mandate comprehensive curricula, fund research programs, train staff, create accountability measures. Call for action for families and communities. Make them part of this and build knowledge. Talk about the support peers. Speak up, prioritize self care. We need to protect the adolescents. They need psychological counseling, school programs, prevention strategy awareness, school based family education, law enforcement. Intervention support for victims, counseling, medical care, legal support, peer support groups. As a whole, responsibilities of everyone the role society, gynecologists, stakeholders, parents, teachers, policymakers, community involvement, advocacy. We have done the Dhira No to Violence Against Women. We focused on this because adolescence is an adolescence and adulthood is a phase where they're vulnerable. So we started this Dhira No to Violence Against Women online school certification program with the UNICEF. All the FOGSIans have done so much because this program was to make the girls grow up into gender neutral. They should not think it's okay to accept violence, and boys should not think it's okay to do violence. So they need to talk about gender neutrality, and governments should be engaged in making this a mandatory course in all the school curriculum. Only 2 hours, but at least we start speaking. These were some of the achievements we have seen. This was by 2022 itself, we had covered 3,400, and now we have covered more than 6,000 schools. So many programs and so many people were involved. It was all the FOGSians had the opportunity to go to schools, colleges, and this showed that we can do a lot. And we have published this in the IJGO because publications are important for people to realize how these issues can be tackled. They can learn. So the key legislation of child protection, there are many legislations. So make sure that you know them. Make sure they're available. There's so many, but all these have to be actually taken into consideration. But if we can prevent the violence, I think that's the best thing. Even there's a child labor prohibition regulation. We know we have been saying it from past, I think, 50, 60 years, but still it happens. So to conclude, violence has got a profound lasting impact. We need to call for action to create safe environment. Psychological, physical, sexual violence coexist. You know that, and try to intervene early. Take everyone, family, society, community, organization like FOGSI. FIGO has been doing a lot of work now in the adolescent. FIGO started the adolescent committee recently, and WHO, UNICEF, IHR, everyone must collaborate with each other to prevent and address any kind of violence. In fact, because there was no focused group on adolescent, past president Anne Chiara was so particular. She said, adolescents are the most important people on earth. We need to focus, and that's how the adolescent committee of FIGO had started. And prevent and handle any kind of violence for future of women as an individual and the nation. I think together we can definitely try to end adolescent violence and look at your investment is worth it, because solution could be evidence-based prevention and comprehensive support care. We need to end the cycle, building safe, healthy future for all adolescents. Thank you, friends.
Excellent talk, ma'am, as always, because you have extensive work on this issue, and it's a really important issue that we are seeing. And adolescents, of course, they are the most vulnerable to violence. And now that we have digital violence also coming up, so we really need to have more awareness sessions on this. And congratulations on your work for this on this issue, and for explaining this so wonderfully to all of
Thank
us.
you, Gauri.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
In fact, when I started off working the FOGSI and all, I didn't realize. I remember, I think Suchitra's main focus was on adolescent in her presidency. And when I was young, just joining FOGSI, it was this J&J's and the FOGSI school teaching programs. I remember we used to go to this. So I'm talking about
Anusha,
5 years back.
yes.
We used to go and attend to all the school programs. But that has a long lasting. And when I was so much involved with No to Violence Against Women, and I was just walking one day and realized, oh, we can't wait for the women to get violated. No, we need to start early. That was the reason why we started the UNICEF FOGSI No to
Yes.
Violence Against Women online school certification.
Yeah, and the very important message that we gave through the Dhira program was a gender equality message. Because in many schools, we also had feedbacks from the boys that,
Yes.
we are being sidetracked. So this
Yes.
was very important that we told them we are not coming here to sideline someone. We want a gender neutral society. And that was something which was really appreciated by the boys as well.
You know, one boy, I mean, Shai just told me, he said, why Shai sir, only for girls you're doing, we are also getting problem. Why can't you?
Very true,
And
ma'am. Very true.
Kiran Mai also had one candidate, another Uma also had. The boys were asking, I believe, why you're not doing so. But the incidence in girls is much higher than in boys.
Very
That's the saddest part.
Yes.
And now after that, FIGO is accepted. There's so much of work now. FIGO, we are doing active work in this, because how much now we have just awareness is created. I think slowly it takes. I hope we will be able to achieve something.
You know, Shanta, when we did the youth melas, we were actually taking the boys and the girls, and we were talking about self-defense. So Preeti is going to give some slides on that, so that we realize that, it's so important. The youth have to be made, the young people have to be made aware to prevent the women in the future. So good. Thank you very much for joining, Shanta, and thank you for your talk. And Chinmay, before we get you to speak, Sheila is waiting at the airport. Sheila Mane, who's going to be taking over as the next ICOG chairperson. Sheila.
Yes,
Sheila,
Suchitra.
You can give your expert comments, Sheila.
I think Suchitra, excellent idea, and all the talks are very informative and very important today's for adolescents as well as youth. And we have to really see that how we reach more and more people. Again, I think we have to start this. Okay, through FOGSI and ICOG, I think we can do it. And one more thing, like recently I heard that government has banned three sites. I mean, which were not to be seen by the young children. But I think we need to really act on that, because my colleagues are working in taluka hospitals and all that, and it's rural area, and out of 10 cases of POXO, 8 are consensual, and they are all 8th standard and ninth standard girls, and they are coming with advanced pregnancies, and all such things are happening. So the matter is really serious. Every day, whatever POXO cases we have, only 10 to 15% are like forced upon or something like that. All other are because there is no sex education and awareness given to them, that how it is harmful of them and what are their boundaries. So I think we have to really have a relook at this now, and we have to see how we can talk to government also regarding this, because social media impact is too much. It is experiment happening. I mean, there is incest relationship has gone up. because small families, nobody at home. So all those problems are cropping up, and we see now. So I think good, and we will see to it that how we can reach more and more. I know Dhira program is there, which Dr. Shantakumari has really taken it well ahead, and everybody is aware. So we also have to look at this aspect also, I feel. And I
Can I
really
give you a
congratulate
suggestion?
and definitely. Yes, Shant.
Yeah. I think, see, this webinar is okay. This webinar is not for adolescents. This webinar, actually, you should give the link to the schools and parents and all to listen. There's nothing the
Yeah,
gynecologists need to learn from this. I think this
very true. Very true.
put it in a the Zoom link in the social media or accessible, make it open for public to join this program. There's no
I
point in
think
talking.
we
No,
have a
Shanta, actually, this is just a pilot, so that we know. Sunita had suggested that do the pilot first, and then we'll do it on a larger scale. So when we go again next, that's why Sheila was involved, and we'll do it on a larger scale. And very right, you're right. We have to give the links to the public. That's it. That is the whole idea for the future.
It
Do
should
that
be
and
live
open.
on Facebook, then
Yes.
YouTube. So and we should publicize it. I mean, every society should inform in their area that
So whoever
then
joins,
only it will.
even if 1,000 people join, 10,000
Yes.
slowly keep doing it. I think that's the only way we can change. Only
Yeah,
we
we
talking
can.
about it not going to make much difference.
The same way I feel for contraception also. We have to
Yeah,
talk to people.
you talk to
Yes.
people, not to us gynecologists. I think. Think on that and
I
wish you
think we
all
have
the
to
best.
promote.
Yeah.
So thank you, Suchitra, and we will definitely discuss
Take it
about
forward.
it,
Yeah.
that how we can do it in a broader way. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I also have to go to airport. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Please. Thank you.
Thank you,
I think now.
ma'am. Thank you, Shanta, ma'am. Wonderful talk. And really, really, it was a real how much passion you hold for violence against women. And especially, like you said, this information has to be spread amongst the adolescent. And I think this is somewhere I can start off with carrying this message into society. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we will now proceed with the next talk. Dr. Chinmay again is on the airport. It is quite a funny coincidence that many of our faculty are on the airport.
No,
So
Dr.
No,
Chinmay is
actually, we are
actually sitting in the hall
Can
in
I
we are
request?
Hyderabad. Yeah.
Can I
Ahmedabad
request
for
Gauri
the
to
Sogo.
please introduce Chinmay and immediately we will start off with her talk. Gauri, are you
Thank you so
around?
much for bearing with me.
I think Chinmay has already been introduced. Before she gets lost, let's hear
Yeah,
her on.
yeah. I think she can
Okay,
directly
okay. I
Thank you.
think
start
I
us
Thank you
think
off.
we
so
should
much.
just proceed. Okay,
Thank
okay.
you.
Let's proceed. Yes, Chinmay, all
At
yours.
the Thank you so much, Dr. Supriya, and Dr. Supriya and Suchitra ma'am, because you've really given us a direction through this youth cell activities. Through these youth cell activities, so that we are able to actually do something meaningful. Now, the talk that I have been assigned to create in this module is, are you depressed? Speak up and ask for help. So this talk is basically addressed to youth who will be able to identify themselves whether they are having this clinical condition called depression. Now, mental health issues are definitely something which are taking the forefront now, because we are realizing that a lot of our other problems are actually arising from inherent mental health issues. And the global statistics suggest almost as if it is a new age pandemic. So over 1 billion people worldwide are living with a mental health condition, and approximately 332 million people globally experience what is called depression. Depression is about 1.5 times more common in women than in men. And as of this year, it is estimated that about 7% of women have depression as compared to around 4 to 5% of men. Now, in India, 15% of adults, roughly 1 in 7, experience mental health issues and require professional intervention. When we talk of youth in particular, as of this year, half of all lifetime mental disorders begin by the age of 14, and about 2/3 begin by the age of 24. So like Madam was just saying, that the youngsters and the adolescents need to be targeted, because a lot of these problems start. I deal a lot with fetal medicine, and we know that most of the adult diseases have origin in the fetal life. So just like there is a fetal origin of adult disease, there is an adolescent origin of
mental health problems, because that is when the brain is starting to mature and actually forming itself. But half of all mental health disorders which start early remain undetected and untreated, because the awareness for these conditions is very less, and that is the aim with which we have started this idea of making people aware of what are the mental health challenges to the youth and the adolescents. Not only this affects the health per se of these people, but it also has a huge economic and social impact. There is a huge loss in the earnings of a country, as has been shown in the statistics here. But individually, it drives people towards conditions like suicide. And it's very sad that suicide is currently third leading cause of death for those aged between 15 and 29. And what do people achieve by 15 and 29? These are lives that are still to be lived, and they are lost because of suicide that arises out of mental health disorders like depression. So what is depression? It's not a very loosely used term. We use this term very, I'm feeling depressed today, but it's not just sadness. It is a persistent medical condition that affects mood, thought, and daily functioning. So unlike mood fluctuations, depressive episodes last mostly throughout the day, almost every day for at least 2 weeks. So it is a clinical condition, very treatable, and not a personal failure or a sign of weakness. So to identify the early warning signs of depression is very important, and every youth should be able to distinguish whether he's just feeling depressed, just feeling down, or has actual signs of depression. So some of the important symptoms of depression that have been, circulated for awareness in the public are, in very simple words, explained to people who may be affected by the condition, and that is, you feel down most of the time. Nothing else feels fun anymore. Your weight is up or down because you're either eating too much or eating very less. You always feel a lack of energy. There is an exhaustion all the time. You feel most of the time you're just sitting and, thinking things or not thinking them properly and just lying around. And there's a feeling of loss of self-esteem, feeling worthless or guilty all at the same time, which is the new norm. So in medical terms, there are 3 C's of depression. That is, there are negative thoughts coming into your mind, lack of self-esteem, worthlessness, and helplessness, which comes under the category of cognitive symptoms. Especially adolescents or young students have problems to focus on tasks, and because their mind is kind of struggling with other things, other thoughts, negative thoughts in their mind, and they're not able to concentrate on the right thing. So concentration difficulties is the other C. And just feeling emotional and having bouts of crying. Crying is the third C. So the 3 C's of depression, if you see amongst people around you, identify them as maybe depressed. And if you feel them yourself, then identify yourself as maybe depressed. And there could be change in sleep patterns, appetite, and persistently low energy, as we saw in the previous slide. So for the youth and students, the burden of depression is really significant, because most of them start by the age of 14 and 2/3 of them by the age of 25. In Indian students in this year, we have found that 37% of college students in India reported a moderate to severe depressive symptoms. So people don't go very easily to psychiatrists in this country. But when you do a random survey, you find that almost 1/3 of these students have symptoms which could be arising because of depression. There is a reluctance in seeking help, because there is a stigma associated in our country even now to seek any help for mental health conditions. And only 41% of young people in India believe that it is good to get support. So even their belief is about 41%, whereas in the rest of the world, about 80% of people think that, yes, the mind also needs treatment like the body, and seeking help for mental health problems is something accepted elsewhere much more than in our country. So there comes to be what is called a treatment gap. The treatment gap is about access issues. The people who need treatment do not actually get treatment. In India, about 84% of people with mental disorders do not receive treatment, and that's a huge chunk of people who have unmet needs. Staffing shortage, of course, is an important factor, but globally, large proportion of people with mental disorders do not receive proper treatment due to lack of awareness and stigma. So why does speaking up matter? Speaking up matters because you provide actionable steps for seeking help to bridge the widespread teething gap. Insight into one's own problem will be the first step to actually, reach that stage where treatment is a possibility. And compliance to correction is better when one seeks help himself. It's also important that sometimes they should know that this is common, and it's okay to not be okay. That's how it has been described in some of the helplines. And that's a very important statement for people to encourage them to speak up and say, I need help. When it comes to doctors, because we started this youth cell activities addressing the issues of the youth in FOGSI, and there was the thought that, what are the problems that they have? So suppose you are dealing with depression, and in such an enlightened community as gynecologists who have already become doctors and then become specialists, why are we having this depression? Because it is a fact that most doctors live under tremendous amount of pressure, and the pressure is from performance, peer pressure, stressful lifestyle, a lack of positive social life, lack of sleep, a burnout phenomenon due to so many things that one wants to do within those 24 hours, and trying to juggle everything in a way that is somewhat unrealistic. When you ask the doctors, do you know what is depression? Do you think you're depressed? There is this attitude of, I know it all. I'm a doctor. How will I not know about depression? But this is Socrates, one of the greatest philosophers of his time. And he said, as for me, all I know is that I know nothing. Because a lot of acceptance of ignorance comes only when you know things in depth. And I remember telling students, the more you know about something, the more you learn how much you do not know. So similarly, depression is one such feature where we think we know everything about it, and we don't want to talk about it because we think, oh, this is very, very superficial. But it has very in-depth results, and one needs to be aware. And the problem with doctors is something which is a very interesting article called the good doctor trap, where you are taught to be overworking, you're taught to work beyond your capacity, because then only you can, oh, that doctor is great because he sees patients till 2 in the night, that the madam is great because she wakes up every time the patient calls. So there is a inherent risk factor which causes burnout. And this was a very interesting statement in one of the articles where a review was being done on students. And one of the students told that, I was told by the psychologist at my med school campus assistance program that 75% of the class of 175 were actually on antidepressants. And he wasn't joking. How broken is the system that doctors have to be pushed into illness in order to be trained to do their job? And that's such a profound statement. And we are today accepting that there is just too much pressure on the doctors. The young doctors have to always do it right, do it now, do it like no other, and do it in such a way that they are starting to feel the cracks in their system. Who can help them out? Definitely peers can help them out. They only have to ask and speak out. So in FOGSI, at least we have had the system of whenever we felt lost or down or sad, I've always had one mentoring senior come up and say that, oh no, I've been there, done that. This is how you should do. And even till this date, we get help from our seniors. And that is something which is extremely important and a resource that needs to be tapped, where one has to just ask. So if you feel depressed, just stand up and ask for help. Too many things to do, start with one. We already had a session on time management, on self-presentation. So all the things that have been taught so far are all part of your anti-depression mission, where if you do things right, if you do take care of your health, if you cope up with things that you need to cope up, you will have less and less reasons to feel negative thoughts, to feel depression, and to feel low in life. So stand up to your inner critic, journal your feelings, identify and manage triggers, breathing exercises, mindfulness or meditation, yoga. Reach out to whatever is your support system. You have friends, you have seniors, you have anybody you can reach out to, but not the unknown digital world. Of course, that is a warning sign for everybody, because if you start asking Siri or Alexa about your depression, you might land up in places where you didn't want to be. Be compassionate with yourself and consider therapy. So these are all the messages we want to give people who think that they could be at the brink of depression and they need to be, helped out. Only thing they have to do is just stand up and ask. Why is it hard to speak up? Because there is a stigma associated with all this depression related issues or any mental health issues. And that stigma is that internal stigma that I might be labeled as weak if I ask for help. I mean, how silly are you that you can't handle your feelings? That's a kind of feedback you would not be surprised if you got in this country. But breaking that fear of being judged, not recognizing that this is a medical condition. It's very confusing, do I really need to be a psychiatrist? How many times have we told patients? I mean, again, in fetal medicine, we deal so many times with patients who've had fetal anomalies and terminations or a loss of a pregnancy for other reason. They feel so overwhelmingly emotional about it. But when you suggest therapy, they'll all say, it's okay, ma'am, I'll think about it. I'll talk to my husband and we'll feel better tomorrow. So there is an inherent confusion in recognizing psychological stress as a medical condition. And there are societal barriers, of course. So it is important to tell people or the youth who feel depressed that you're not alone. There is a call to action in a way that don't wait for things to get worse. I mean, just like my patients always say, we'll wait, we'll see. If we can't handle, we'll go to the doctor. But I always feel early intervention is a key to faster recovery. And the treatment for this works. The treatment might not be medication. It may be just behavioral counseling. It may be just some hopeful messages that will come across to the affected person. But recovery is possible with the right support and the right medical care. The WHO has taken such good cognizance of mental health that in the adolescent health activities, it really takes a very prime place. And the whole message is, let's talk. So this topic, what Suchitra ma'am has given, are you depressed? Just speak up and ask is what is the whole aim of reaching it. And when we want to go on to treating somebody with a complete physical, mental, and social well-being, good choices of wellness are very important. Physical wellness is something we all want. Emotional wellness is more important. And that is your ability to take responsibility for your behavior, learning more about yourself and responding to challenges as opportunities, having a positive attitude and maintaining your self-esteem. This world is very, very brutal at times, but holding on to your thoughts and maintaining a self-esteem is very, very important. There are also other non-conventional methods of delving a little bit into spirituality, because one of the reasons we've been driven into the digital media or social media is because we've started detaching ourselves from our inner spirituality, and that has led to a kind of moral decline in society. Reclaiming that, the pearls of Indian culture would be one way of dealing with it. And of course, it's a global concern with multiple overlapping factors, which we have already discussed. But in adolescence, there is a right to do a lot of good things. And this has been accepted by the International Charter of Sexual and Reproductive Rights. And as doctors, as the part of the FOGSI Youth Cell, we intend to reclaim all these rights, not only for the adolescents, but also for the youth and FOGSI. To every problem, there is almost a very simple solution. And in this case, just empower yourself with information. Just speak up and ask for help. And we will be there to help you in whichever way it is possible. How will we help? We will guide you to professional resources which are available. You can go for therapy and counseling. There are helplines available. Even in India, there is the Telemanas helpline, which is available for mental health conditions. And of course, there are helplines all over the world. Thank you very much for a very patient hearing. Once again, Suchitra ma'am, thank you for the opportunity. And I'm really, really looking forward to doing something more meaningful in this.
Thank you very much, Chinmay. Yes, Jadoo Ki Chappi is, sometimes what I always remember when we are talking of depression. Even a nice warm hug from a colleague makes you feel so good, particularly when you're in a very low mood. And yes, we are going to do this in a bigger way. But yes, whenever your presentations are fully ready, please send them to us so that we can collate and then, we can do it in a bigger way. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry for the technical glitch earlier.
No problem. Gauri, you want to introduce Dr. Preeti Vyas for the next talk? Dr. Preeti? Dr.
Yeah, I'm here, ma'am.
Yeah. She's very much a youth person, looks young, feels young, and has always worked for all the youth melas and the youth innovative programs, and is also a counseling therapist apart from being a gynec and a surgeon. And Preeti, I'd like you to take over. And I remember, Gauri, if you remember the beautiful youth mela we had at Nasik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we really had fun
Let's
doing
invite
those. And I
Preeti.
think,
Preeti.
Right.
Yeah, I think what Dr. Shanta Kumari
Joint treasurer of ISOPA Mumbai chapter.
Supriya, she's introduced. Sorry.
So I think Dr. Shanta Kumari madam suggested that we need to compile all of these and put this all on a YouTube. And I think that's something really apt. Maybe we should really work towards it, because I think we just need to disseminate all the information to everybody, anybody and everybody who can really get benefited from it. So what I'm going to talk about is on self-defense. I will be also having some, I'll share the sound.
पूछ के जाया करो, और दूसरी बात, बहुत ठंड के कपड़े जो लगते हैं, ये अपना नया फैशन है, अभी ये नहीं खाते,
Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am. Make it full
Just
screen.
make it full screen. Yeah. Make it full screen.
Doing that. So what we are going to talk today is about self-defense. So everybody has spoken about different things, about protecting from sexual abuse, about this thing. And what I'm going to start is with the videos. So this is what can happen to, just wait. Yeah. So before leaving the house, from office, we need to be really, really prepared, because this is what can happen to any of us. I started with the videos because it had to come as a shocker. I needed people to be aware that this is something which is so, so common, and it is so much, this thing possible in this day and age, where girls and even boys who are traveling alone can be attacked, middle of the day, middle of the night, traveling alone at night by public transport or even by private transport. These issues can happen. It's always important that we teach our children and also our own selves, even as adults, we are not spared. So make sure that if we are going out, stepping out, our mobile is charged, especially if we are leaving a little late from the office. Then we need to make sure that somebody in the house is informed, that yes, I'm leaving, and keep my location on. Like, it's a rule in our family that the location always remains on for all four of us, so that it's not just to spy on somebody, nobody really cares about that, but it's mainly to make sure that everybody's safe, that suppose I'm out, if I have to go out and operate somewhere in the middle of the night, at least they should be able to trace where I was. And if I'm traveling by a cab or a rickshaw driver, ask them the name and tell them that I'm taking a photo and sending. So they are aware that you've already sent it to somebody important, and that they are not going to land up playing any mischief. And always have a buddy system. Now, this buddy system is something that I even talk to my children about, that suppose we are going out for a party, you're going to a lounge, never leave your drink unattended. Make sure that the drink is always on you. Suppose you have to leave the drink and go to the washroom and you're going to come back, you never know if somebody has played a mischief and spiked the drink. So throw it if you have to. You never ever drink from something that was left unattended. And always tell your friend, your buddy, to take care of you. And the same thing applies to you, that you take care of your friend. Because suppose by whatever reason, there is a incident, or there is somebody who's landed up having a spiked drink, or has had too much to drink, or has landed up with any kind of the untoward incident, then there should be somebody else who can take over and get you out of a unpleasant situation and take care of you before things can go bad. So there are certain things that are always handy, in our bag with you, like a hairpin or a clip or a mobile or a pen or a pencil, or even a key to the house or a key to the vehicle that you're going to travel by. Or even if I'm wearing this thing, then I can use the dupatta. So these are just some videos that we have compiled. यहाँ पे इसको आप ऐसे मार सकते हैं, ठीक है, इसको आप वैसे ही यहाँ पे मार सकते हैं, आप इसको शोल्डर पे मार सकते हैं, ताकि आपको जब भी कोई पकड़े तब उनका शोल्डर में से हाथ निकल जाए, ठीक है, आप उनके हाथ पे मार सकते हैं। किसी ने ऐसे पकड़ा है, फिर उससे इनको निकाला आपने हेलमेट से, सिंपली उनके हाथ पे यहाँ पे घुमा दीजिए, जैसे आप उनके हाथ पे घुमा रही हो, उनका हाथ नीचे गिर जाएगा, आप उनके नेक पे घुमा दीजिए, या आप ऐसे घुमा दीजिए, you're wearing a दुपट्टा like this, अगर आपको कोई आता है, कोई आपको छेड़ता है, तो सिंपली जस्ट क्या उसको पकड़िए, घुमा दीजिए और दबा दीजिए। अगर ऐसा नहीं होता है, इस तरीके से आपने दुपट्टा पहना है, उसको उठा दीजिए, सामने वाले की आंखों पे डाल दीजिए, आंखों पे डालने के बाद सीधा उनके रोइंग पे ठीक, जैसे ये ऐसे आप मार सकते हैं। ओके, मोस्टली सब लोग आपकी हैंड बैग्स, जैसे अगर समझिए कि कोई अगर आपको पीछे से आके, जैसे अगर आपको कोई पीछे से आके आपको कुछ छेड़ता है, लेकिन अगर आपको छेड़ रहा है तो इनको मोटे मारिए, अगर हो सके तो आप ऐसे ही मार सकते हैं थोड़ा ना, जैसे अगर आप समझो कार पार्किंग में है, जैसे सिंपली इसको पकड़ लीजिए, इसको आके यहाँ पे मारिए, ठीक है, सिंपली उनको यहाँ पे मारिए, ठीक, आप उनको हेड पे मार सकते हैं, स्टमक पे मार सकते हैं, आप उनके रिब्स में मार सकते हैं, हाथों पे मारिए, और किसी ने आपके साथ समझो पीछे से पकड़ लिया, कोई ऐसा आपको पकड़ रहा है, कुछ मत करिए, आपका जो सेलफोन है उसको टाइटली पकड़िए सेंटर में, इसको ध्यान से रखिए, इसको ना आपको सेंटर में पकड़ना है, और ये मोबाइल को आपको जिसको हिट करना है, जस्ट इसी को आप उसको पीछे घुमा के सामने वाले के सर के ऊपर हिट करिए। These were the videos that we had compiled, together when we did the youth melas, and there were of course much more videos, but for constraint of time I will not be able to show you all the videos. But these are some of the techniques that you're saying, that you can hit headbutt with your own head and hit them, and then hit the person in the groin. Make sure that you can use the fingers, your nails, to jabbing them on the solar plexus or on the chin, or hitting them with the chin with your own forehead. Hitting them with the knuckles really work. If somebody comes attacking you, bend their fingers, or you jab the throat. The throat can be again jabbed either with any sharp instrument that you have, or you can even jab them with your own fingers. Make sure that if there is an attack, you run from the situation. Okay, do the initial things that's required and run away. Do not wait there for the person to be able to get up and do something again. Just stiffen your index finger and poke them on the throat. It just gives them a shock, and they would at least be thrown back for a few seconds, and that will give you enough time to take the plunge and run away. If somebody tries to force kiss you, the easiest thing to do is catch the eyes. You go for the eyes. Do not worry about what will happen, how will he, this thing, oh, he'll get hurt in the eyes, because you are going to be in even more trouble. So make sure that suppose somebody catches you from the back, just bend down all the way, catch their leg and try and put them off balance, or straight go for the groin. This is the easiest way to get them out. If there's a back attack, as what the video also said, you attack them with whatever is there in your hand, or jab your own elbow into their chin or the solar plexus or into the stomach. And first thing, run. Make sure that we are safe. Run. Avoid combat at all costs. Be safe, be aware. Think about all the safety apps and make sure that these are kept as an SOS in your phone, in your mobile. So if there is an issue, you can call for help immediately. You can call 181 or this thing. Make sure that you protect yourself and target the soft parts of the opponent. The eyes, the nose, the throat, the clavicle, the groin, the solar plexus, the shin, the knees. And this is a very nice video that I found.
If all else fails, go for the 4 sensitive areas of the body. But just remember to sing. S-I-N-G. Instead.
So I think it's so important to develop awareness for self-defense among women and men both together. And this was just a small thing that I wanted to show, because this is how we will be able to spread more and more awareness. Of course, we have some more videos, and if we actually land up compiling the whole thing, then we will have even more things, where we even had a whistleblower video. We even have some more videos where if there is an attack from front, from back, or from this thing, then how do we protect ourselves? And this was courtesy the youth mela that we had done this entire exercise. And it was a complete brainchild of Suchitra Pandit Madam. And I think this is something that's really taken very well. And when we did these programs in colleges also, it was really well appreciated. Thank you.
I think it's very important for every human being to know self-defense. It is not just women and girls, but everybody must know. And people think, "Arey, no, उसमें tension में क्या हो जाता है? We can't do it." No, it's like the drills, as we teach shoulder dystocia drills, quad prolapse drills. So these are also drills, self-defense drills. So Supriya, you as the next adolescent chairperson, Sheila as the next ICOG chair, and we can all work together and make sure all our people are trained, even if you know 3 or 4 basic skills. Those are so important.
Absolutely, madam. And really, Preeti, thank you so much for that presentation. Preeti has been a hardworking Foxian for the last several years, and really looking forward to having her on board as a chairperson very soon in the FOGSI team. And thank you so much, Preeti. And one more thing, madam, that I always stress when we go to school health programs is mobile has now become such an addiction. Many a times girls and boys or even adults like us on the streets, you see that entire attention is focused on the mobile.
Yes.
They're absolutely unaware of their surroundings, and that is one thing that we need to keep reiterating to all the young people that we come across. Please be aware of what is going on around you. Take
Correct.
signals. They are so totally focused on the mobile, they don't know that the rickshaw has taken a wrong turn, or that the taxi is taking them to the wrong destination, or that some two unknown more people have entered forcibly into the vehicle. So things like that, I think that is also one point that as caregivers we can disseminate among young people to keep awareness of the surroundings and not be totally engrossed on the mobile. And in fact, it came to me so thoughtfully because I was on the streets a few minutes ago concentrating on the webinar, and I realized while seeing this video that tomorrow somebody comes attacks me, I will be so engrossed in the webinar, I don't know what's happening around me.
No,
So
one is the
this,
mobile, and also they put the things in the ears for the music.
yes, ma'am,
So the
yes,
rasta
yes,
crossing ke time mein,
yes,
they
here
don't
it
know what
is.
has happened. Yeah, exactly. So they're totally lost into it. So I think this is
Absolutely.
a very important message. Preeti, thank you for giving all those videos, and all the best to you for all your efforts. And I'm sure we will do this in a big way. And I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
we now have to ask our young panelists, young, old, and all kinds of ages, to come in. And can you invite the? Thank you very much for this interesting session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And
Yeah.
we'll now proceed with the panel. Preeti, would you like to invite the panelists?
Yeah, so I'd like to invite first our moderators, Dr. Supriya Jaiswal, Madam, and Dr. Girish Manesa. Can I have the CVs, please, put up? So, thank you. There is something that's blocking this. Yeah, thanks. So, Dr. Supriya Jaiswal, Madam, of course, we all know her as the chairperson of the Adolescent Health Committee, and very soon one Supriya is going to take over from the other Supriya. And she's also the vice president of the Patna OBGYN Society, the joint secretary of FOGSI for
Thank
Bihar,
you.
Jharkhand, the chief consultant at Patna, and everybody knows Supriya Madam as chirpy, cheerful, always there to help a person from Patna. She's the go-to person for Patna. And we welcome Dr. Supriya. And
Thank you.
we
So
also,
sweet of you.
yeah, thank you. And we also have Dr. Girish Mane. Dr. Girish Mane is right now the Adults and Gynec Committee Chair for AMOGS for 2022 to 24. So again, somebody who's really worked a lot towards adolescent health. And he was the past chairperson of Adolescent Health Committee of FOGSI before this. He's the vice president right now of ISOPAP Vidap chapter, the past president of the
Thank you.
Yavatmal
Thank you,
Society.
Dr. Prati. Thanks a lot.
Welcome, Dr. Girish. He's also the recipient of the FOGSI India Award. That's something I must mention because that's again something that's working towards helping against violence against women. So welcome, Dr. Mane and Dr. Supriya. And I'd like to now invite all the esteemed panelists. Sir, would you take the pleasure of inviting them?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let me, hello.
Yes.
Please allow me to share.
Yes, Girish.
Yeah.
Yes, Girish. We can hear you. Actually, should I do the invitation part?
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah.
Till that time, I
So
will
we
share.
have, can we have the CVs, please? We have our very esteemed panelists, and it's a really a wonderful brainchild by the Suchitra ma'am to, have a whole range of people in this panel, right from the youngsters to the seniors, the patrons, to give us more information on how we can look after the welfare of the youth. We have Dr. Deepak Bagde. He is a past president of SOGOG, All Gujarat Gynec and Obstetric Society. First ever SOGOG oration was given by Sir, having delivered so many thousands of babies. And what is most important about him is a very, very cheerful personality, a very, very helpful personality, and one of the father figures for the Funference, where we mix fun with learning, pleasure with business. So, welcome, sir.
Thank
We
you,
have
thank,
next on
thank
the
you,
panel,
Supriya.
we have Dr. Can we have the next CV? Dr. Soma Datta. She's the most sought after lady for this year. She's the joint.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
So she's
Supriya
the
madam,
joint
for giving me
secretary
the
FOGSI.
opportunity.
Yeah. Joint secretary of FOGSI under Dr. Bhaskar's captaincy. Welcome, Soma. We then have next CV, please. We have Dr. Ami Surti. She's a consultant at the Surya Hospital and an active MOGS member. Welcome, Dr. Ami. Then we have the Youth Brigade. Can we have the next Dr. Akash Patki? Akash is the son of Dr. Amit Patki. He's waiting for his OB-GYN term to start very soon. He just finished his NEET PG. Welcome, Akash.
Thank you.
Myself, Supriya Arwari, naam kafi hai. Next, please. We have Dr. Mihir Balsarkar. Mihir is Dr. Geeta Balsarkar's son. He's a second-year resident in the Department of OBGYN at Kashibai Navle Medical College, Pune. Welcome, Mihir. And we have Dr. Professor Bharti Maheshwari, professor and the head of department of Muzaffarnagar Medical College. Welcome, Bharti ma'am. I think this is about it. Dr. Sudhir Shah, who was supposed to be on the panel, has sent his apologies since he has an emergency in the family, some health emergency. So I'll immediately hand over to Dr. Girish and Dr. Supriya for a wonderful panel discussion where we'll, be concentrating on the practical aspects of dealing with adolescent care. Thank you, and over to you, to the moderators.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Supriya. Actually, I'm trying to open my presentation. Supriya madam, you can start till that time. Just
a very good evening to all of you. Actually, I was running a bad throat, so I'm not very comfortable in talking. Still, this was a dream for us in the youth cell discussions in the FOGSI. We had really good time, and thanks to Suchitra Pandit madam for having such a wonderful idea of having this workshop, this masterclass, and ICOG has been supporting us. And during that, when we presented, I and Dr. Suchitra madam, so right away, Dr. Sunita madam, she said, okay, do something very purposeful. Just don't keep on having plans, implement it. So then Suchitra madam worked on it meticulously, and we kept in touch. And thank you to Dr. Preeti Vyas and Dr. Supriya Arwari and all the people. We were surprised to see Dr. Because it is a violence, so no, so Dr. Shanta Kumari madam, she was also very happy to join this. So wonderful, Dr. Parag, Dr. All of you, all of you who have really given us this time, and all the panelists. I'm so happy that everybody has joined. So thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Giri sir.
Yeah. Suchitra madam, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Actually, there is some problem in sharing my slides. I think we will have direct discussion because there is nothing to show on the in the slides, and I mean there is nothing like pictorial or some kind of video. So I think we will have direct one-to-one this discussion. So as everybody knows, I welcome all the panelists, Dr. Deepak sir, Dr. Soma, Dr. Sudhir, Dr. Amit, and we have two champs with us, Dr. Akash Patki and Dr. Mihir Balsarkar. I had a phone from their parent today. And also I welcome Dr. Supriya Arwari, Dr. Bharti Maheshwari, and everyone. Thank you very much. So friends, everybody knows that India is having the highest youth population right now. on the earth. It is almost 242 millions, and probably 19.1 of the total population in India. It is in the this youth category, and there are multiple characteristics of the youth category. For example, they are having aggression, they are dynamic, they are developing, they are loud but lonely, they are enthusiastic, they are experimenting, and I mean there are multifaceted of the youth. Youths. And when a small child gets converted into the adolescent, there are basically two changes: physical as well as the mental. Everybody knows that the physical changes like height, weight, the feminine shape, etc. But the special focus should be on the mental changes. They get the sense of grown personality. They search for their own identity. They are seeking the freedom tendency. Then they are overconfident. They have fantasies, and the most important thing, there are various mood changes. And sometimes they will say that my mother is the bestest mother on the earth, and within a few seconds, that boy or girl, they will feel that my mother is the worst mother on the earth. And the most important mental change in all adolescents, it is attraction towards the opposite sex, probably, which is the basic cause for many psychosocial problems in the youth. The health is not only the physical, but everybody should consider the psychological health, the familial health, the social health, everything. And the parameters of good healthy life are not only the good physique, but the body shape, body weight, body height, everything should be properly maintained. They should not have the mental stress. Their diet should be healthy. They should have good sleep. They should always have the happy morning. They should be blissful. They should have blissful attitude for everyone. They should not have any addiction. They should not have any diseases, and they should not have any regret for their self activities. There are multiple problems in the today's youth: psychosocial problem as well as the familial problem. And there are some alarming situations also in the form of decreasing age of the first intercourse, then higher rates of the teenage pregnancy, etc. And many times we think that youth of the India, are they confident or confused, isn't it? And if we go through the Indian statistics, then the suicidal tendencies, it is increasing day by day. Probably it is increasing because of this social use of social media and use of, I mean, inadvertent or unnecessarily things in their mind. Then alcohol, as Narendra Malhotra sir said, that alcoholism is increasing day by day. Maybe then drug abuse, substance abuse is increasing. Then anxiety disorder, comparison. There are multiple factors why the suicidal tendencies, they are increasing. And many of our youth, they are getting indulged in unsocialistic activities. So I think well-being of the youth is the future of any country, no doubt, but especially for India, because we are having the highest number of youths in our country. We should be very much focused on the well-being of our youth. And definitely the well-being is multifaceted, and we should focus on their physical health, their mental health, and we should create some supportive environment. And today we are going to discuss on all these issues. So these are the four core areas: the physical health, the mental or emotional health, you can say, then the support system or the relationship, not only in the family but out of the family, for example the friends, then the teachers, then the relatives and other NGOs also. Then how we can develop the healthy habits, and what are the purpose of the life we should teach to them. So my first question anybody can take, and we have Dr. Deepak Bagde sir, one of the very legend personality in it. Sir, namaste. So sir, my first question to you: for example, if a youth, they are getting some mental stresses, or he or she, now if I am saying he, it means either he is a he or he is a she. Okay, I'm not discriminating the gender. So if any youth, they are in mental stress, then how should we get, or how should we understand that they are in the mental state? What are the signs?
Okay, I mean, just look at it. Look at them, the way they talk, the way they seem depressed. It's very simple to find that out. Okay, he or she is not feeling quite well. But why that has happened? There's a long, long history. Is it because of the family? Is it because of the work job, which is really, really stressful nowadays? I know of two couples who meet at the airport in the weekends, go back to the north, go to the south. What do we expect for them except mental stress, you tell me? Is it because of the job? Is it because of the family? I think, as you said very rightly, Girish, that it is multifactorial. But the question is how to really counsel them. Are we being too judgmental on them? I think so also. Some of the things what we have done or what our parents did for us, do we really want to enforce that thing also to them? So they already have a stress for their job. They already have something different, and then we are putting some other stresses because of the family. Uh, I think that is one thing. But as you said very rightly, the stress can be seen on them, and it is not one factor. There are multiple factors. And Suchitra, thanks for getting me into this before I forget that. Thank you.
Girish, can I add here something?
Yeah, please.
Usually, youngsters who have mental stress will have some kind of fall in their scholastic acumen. Maybe the teachers or the parents will start complaining that a cheerful and very talkative teenager is now very withdrawn. He or she does not want to interact socially. They don't want to go into social circles, even whether it's their peers or the family circles. They want to keep to themselves. They are more and more into their social media because they don't want physical interaction with others. And more so, falling in scholastic ability or scholastic performance should raise a bell or rather a red flag, not only for depression and such mental illnesses, but also for some kind of maybe sexual abuse that the child may be undergoing, especially very young children who are unable to express themselves. These are a few pointers that maybe we would like to look for if we are suspecting some mental problems in them.
Very right. So if they are persistently sad, if you are noticing the changes in their sleep or in their appetite, or for example, a boy or a girl, he or she is interested in some music or some dance or some sports, and if they are missing it out, and if they are dropping the academic performances, then your red flag should be like risen up. Supriya madam, over to you, please, for second question.
Thank you. Now, how can we help young people build emotional literacy, the ability to identify and manage their feelings? How can they understand what emotionally, what are they going through? So this question I can ask to Shoma.
Actually, as Dr. Chinmay said, for the youth, the mental disease, it starts from the adolescent period. From the adolescent period, the disease starts and then it gets reflected in this form. So we have to catch them young. And from the very beginning, it's a duty as a parents. And also, we have to counsel the peer groups that it's mental disease, feeling anxiety, the feel of depression that can be very much there, but you have to speak it out. It's the social stigma has to be removed. That is because mental illness is increasing day by day, as we are seeing, because of the peer pressure, because of the social media involvement, because of financial burden, because of the over expectation from the parents, over expectation on the child from the society. But at the same time, the awareness is not increasing. The parents still are thinking, if I have to tell my next door neighbor that my boy is needing counseling, that is a shame on ourselves. So we have to counsel the parents along with the counseling of the youngsters, the parents to be also counseled, that lend your ears to your boys or the girl at home, listen to them patiently. But at the same time, this adolescent, they young, they are very sensitive about their friends, they are very sensitive about their peers. So you hear, listen to them, but don't be judgmental, don't pass comments, but listen to them, be reliable, so that next time when they are talking on to you, they can say, yes, I can depend on this, on my parent, I can depend on my mama, or I can depend on my father, or that can be a teacher also. Many a times the students are very friendly with their teachers. So if that peer group is there, if that you can mentor group is there, that and the student feels comfortable with that teacher, he or she can go and tell the teacher. So the counseling is not about the young, the counseling is needed for the parents, the counseling is required for the teachers and in the college. So it's a wholesome change in the society which is required.
Yeah, very well said.
Can
So we have voice.
I add
Akash.
one? Can I add
Yes,
one?
sir.
Just
Yes,
one
sir.
thing.
Yes, sir. Please, please.
Okay. The only thing, what I really want to counsel to the parents, not the teachers, the students. Sometimes the youngsters want to tell a parent that please listen to me. And the parents are so busy, they might be having only one chance to talk to their daughter before she or he does something really wrong. And they are being ignored. So that ignorance part has to be really counseled. I don't know. I think we require something from the youngsters. Akash, Amit, Mihir. Can you say something what you really want from the parents also?
First of all, thank you so much to ICOG and Suchitra ma'am for giving me this opportunity. I'd like to say that I have a feeling that in our generation there's a lot of awareness about mental health, but it gets kind of labeled. Like people talk about depression a lot. So sometimes if I'm feeling sad, people just label themselves as depressed. Sometimes even non-depressed people can be sad. There are ups and downs, and people feel sad, people feel happy. You just feel low sometimes. It doesn't mean you are depressed, but people often label themselves as depressed and then kind of kind of label themselves and kind of behave in that label. It's
Yeah. So Akash and Mihir, I think the social well-being of the today's youth, it is more significantly, I can say damaged. It is not improved, but damaged by the social media. That is my personal view. And most of the panelists and even my co-moderator, Dr. Supriya, will agree with this. So do you think that social media have a tremendous effect on the well-being of the or mental health of the today's youth? And can there be something like a digital hygiene and how it can be maintained? And what will be your suggestion to the youths as well as the parents regarding this digital hygiene? I will love to hear from Akash as well as from Mihir, because you are the today's Arjun and Karan Arjun. So we will love to listen from you.
No, absolutely, definitely has a big effect. Uh, for I think for digital hygiene, actually nowadays social media apps themselves, you can set timers over there. There are many third-party apps, or on your phone itself, you can set limits for how much you want to limit yourself from using social media apps. Uh, for example, and it definitely, you compare yourselves, you see people put out only the best life on social media. So you're in a constant pressure to kind of match up to that life, or put out, if you're doing something interesting, you're not enjoying it, you're trying to record it to put it out there instead of doing the enjoying that moment. So definitely affects your mental health.
So basically, what I think is we should filter out what we consume from social media. We should not get easily influenced by what other people are posting. Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean that we should also be involved in, we should also do something similar. It may be good, it may be bad for us, but we should be able to filter out the good and the bad, and we should limit our time. We should be involved more in social life, I think.
I think
you are pointing on to the
I would
regarding
like to
the
say that we
contents of
should
the
inculcate in our kids to,
yeah.
do more of physical activities, engage
Yes.
themselves in physical activities. I have a young son, and I see it myself that they're so much into YouTube, making channels, subscribers.
Yeah.
It's very important to stop them from now to understand that physical activity and other things are much more important than for digital hygiene.
Nowadays, I've seen kids in fourth, fifth standard with having their own
How exactly
iPhones,
it is
while we
damaging the
used to
It
social
is
have, we
social
too
used to
it
never
well-being?
is
have
too help for
phones.
them if they feel low if they don't have a channel or a YouTube subscriber.
Yeah, yeah.
For example, it is
see,
taking away from the relatives, it is taking from away developing your own skills, it is taking away from the academics. So in this way, what are the what you can point out of 1, 2, 3, 4, what are the negative effects of the social media on the mental health, especially of the youth?
yeah, before I go, can I say something, Girish?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, we are talking about the youth here. What about the children we have seen in OPD? 6 months, 7 months boy with a mobile and a packet of wafer in the hand. Mother is feeling happy that child is not crying, and easily mobile is with them. So how do we really stop them right from that age? It's not a question of coming to 15, 16. It's a question of 6 months old child, 8 months old child.
I do agree, sir.
I think every one of us have seen that in our OPDs.
I do agree, sir. But today we are discussing the youth.
I know. So I can understand that. But
Nowadays, it is not a mobile; it is a babysitter, I can say.
Yeah, it's a babysitter. It's the easiest thing. In fact, the child. In fact, my granddaughter, Anand's daughter. She's always after the mobile.
Okay.
But we know it, okay, and she knows the limit. So that's fine. But that's the most difficult.
Mihir and Akash, can parent do something to maintain the digital hygiene in the family, or the digital hygiene of their kids? Parents, especially the parents.
I think they definitely can.
In what way?
But simple rule in my house is that in the evening when everyone comes home, we have dinner together on the table. We don't have dinner in our bedrooms watching, something. I've seen a lot of my friends and their families. They have dinner separately in the individual rooms while watching something. So then there's less of family time. So there should be a rule in the house that your phone should be down and you should have dinner together or spend at least 1 hour before dinner, 1 hour after dinner together. Something like that can be helpful.
Anything else, Mihir?
Sir, I think like can enroll, or like we should tell the youth or the children to enroll in physical activities. Like if maybe spending time in gyms along with parents, or maybe even on the ground can help, like keeping or maintaining the digital detox for some time. Like at least physical activity, it helps in it can help in keeping a good mental health, and also spending time with parents, going for walks, that also will help a lot of that also will help for a lot of time, I think.
Very right. See, most of the kids, I mean, they mimic their parents. So if the parents, they themselves are using this media or the phone everywhere, every time, correct? Just by getting away from the relatives, then definitely their children, they will do the same thing. So first thing, parents should have control on the use of mobile in the house. Number one. Number two, there should be some no phone zones in the home. Correct. For example, bedroom, it should not be allowed. Then on the dining table, it should not be allowed. Then in the party function, it should not be allowed. Nowadays, what is happening? We are not taking the active participation in the events. For example, the CMEs, or for the birthdays, or for the marriages. But we are involved in the phone, and we are just clicking thousands of photos which we are not even watching after later on. Correct. So actual by heart participation is not there. So there should be a rule that everybody should participate in the events. Then the communication between the relatives should be directly one-to-one communication should be there. Correct. And the most important should be, in my opinion, there should not be password to the telephone in the home, or at least the parents should know the password. The parents of all these kids, they should know the password of that.
Dr. Girish,
I
can
think.
I add something, Bharti
Yes, madam.
Maheshwari?
Most welcome. Most
Yeah.
welcome.
So, very good discussion is going on, and so many views and issues. So, of course, as you have said, the key point is that we all adults, we also must be role model for our youth. And as you have said, that the social media is definitely, though we say that it distracts sometimes youth, but on the way it can be very much helpful if it is used in the positive way. And as you have said, the time limiting, for the screen time limiting and physical activities, and some contribution in some post or some in academic of that physical activity, though it is there, but it should be promoted more, so that the every youth, they will come forward. So only the thing is that you have said that only our time is very important for our kids or our students or youth, because only then when we will do communication one to one, everything will be sort out easily. Only this is the way that our time is needed to youth, what I can understand.
Social media is double sword edge, basically. Sorry, double-edged sword, basically. It is useful as well as harmful. Supriya Jaswal, madam, over to you, please, for next 2-3 questions.
Yeah. Thank you. So now I'll ask Dr. Bharti. Madam, are you there? No?
Yeah.
So, how can schools effectively reduce the stigma surrounding mental health issues? Because once anybody said he is emotionally unstable, or this is a social stigma. So, in the schools, what can be the situation that can help health issues?
Yes, Supriya,
You
very
just
relevant question. And in fact, the education of all generations, not only students but all adults, we all felt that as we seek help for the physical issues, the same way the mental issues, and we should promote to seek help for the medical mental issues, as well as access should be there, like psychologists or counselors, and they should be freely available and in the positive way, the proper counseling. Only that, and in fact the scenario is changing. Even as I am a teacher of many youth student, medical student, and yet know that in the gynae there is a lot of pressure. So my the students, sometimes I feel and I think they need supports, and I send them and they get in fact benefit of that also. So that is we only that by educating that it is not a bad thing. Only then society, we doctors, they can send the message that we all, not only youth, when we adults, and we all should take help whenever it is required, and it is not a stigma. It is as a normal routine as we do for our physical health.
Thank you, madam, for that answer. But then, school health programs, and there are many a times good counselors. Like, we should be able to tell our problems to any person whom we can trust. In the schools, we can have that mental health counselors, and they should be very open to them. Let the one-to-one contact with the child. Let them open up and tell everything, and the child should be. He should be sure that this person is not going to spread the news. So this way, the schools and even the teachers, many times they are friendly, as we have previously also discussed, that teachers are very good friends of some students. So they can also convey this thing to the teachers, to the parents, to the teachers, to the parents. So school is a very, very good. Anybody wants to add anything on this?
There should be, I think, zero tolerance for bullying. Like if a kid is being bullied, they should be provided proper support and all. Or if any kid has any questions, like they should be given mentor-mentee programs wherein they can come out and speak their issues. I think this can help.
Nowadays, most schools have very good counselors, and in every orientation program, they have principal who gives us who tells them that there are counselors. Please approach them. I think 90% of schools have counselors.
Another thing is school should promote sports activity also, because the sports activity helps in developing peer groups, and that helps the kids to overcome the stress.
Teamwork.
Yes, it's a teamwork. That helps in development of leadership quality also.
Extracurricular activity should be promoted.
Now
I
they call
think
it co-curricular activity because that helps in their curriculum also.
the question is always the teachers are most important part of the children's development.
Yes.
Any child or any youth is with the teacher for 6 hours. So we really got to tell us teachers also directly whether a child the youngster is behaving something different, since last 4 or 5 days or whatever the number of days, because with the parents probably they talk for 1 hour a day. With the teachers they are there for the almost 6 hours. So I don't know how to bring a teacher and a parent together to know the child better. I think that is one very important part.
Yes, rightly said, sir.
Sir, I can make a suggestion here. Is what I usually do when I go for school health programs. I request the administration of the school to keep the awareness program on open day, open forum. Most of the schools have, where the parents are also there, the teachers, the
Teachers are also there,
parents, and the
yes.
students are together. When you talk to them, some things just telling the student eat healthy food is not sufficient unless the mother cooks healthy food for them. Just telling them ki you approach the teacher, unless the teacher is sensitized, she will not be able to or he will not be able to respond. So this is one way of getting everybody under one roof. That when we give our awareness programs, make sure the parents, the teachers, and the students are there listening to what we have to say.
Supriya, I
That's
think
one small way of bridging the gap.
some of the schools have started doing it.
Yes.
What they have done is, my granddaughter, she got the best prize for a good certificate, a good gift, because she got the best healthy food in the last 6 months or something. Okay, what tiffin she had was the best healthy food. So, I mean, you said it very rightly. So those teachers must have heard you, I'm sure about it.
Yeah, madam, please, next.
Yes, very nice. Dr. Supriya, you gave a very good suggestion because then it is of worth. We go and teach the school. If the parents also participate, then I think the awareness will be much better spread, isn't it? So now, but can I ask Dr. Akash, what is resilience and how can parents and mentors help youth develop this resilience?
Resilience is basically not getting affected or after getting affected, bouncing back and coming back to normal. So, I mean, just talking first of all, like all of you saying, Mihir was saying, a mentor, mentee thing should be there. So someone advising you, someone guiding, senior guiding the student, or the adolescent should be there. Someone just ready to listen to the problems of the person and accordingly sharing advice. So a lot of the youth, if they fail, they feel that it like this is done for, and you know, like they're good for nothing. Or there are live examples sometimes in adults and very senior doctors who too as adolescents have failed in some subject, and now they're successful doctors. It didn't matter in the longer run. So such examples can be given, saying that this is not the end of the world. It is just a small misstep, and we can go beyond.
Yeah, excellent. Dr. May, will you add on to this?
Basically, what I think is for resilience to develop, like we should allow adolescents or youth to bring forth their issues, and we should also teach them how to solve or tackle their problems. This itself will give them some training, or this would, like, I think, encourage them to like come out in the world and deal with their own issues in a proper way, rather than just feeling bad about that, oh no, some issue has arisen or something. Like, we should give them the ability, or we should teach them the ability to bounce back from any problem which they are facing, and we should be able to guide them. That is what I think.
Yes, we need to support them
We
also
need to
and
teach
let
them
them,
never to give up.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they keep on trying to solve their own problems.
And I think we need to tell them as well as their parents, it's okay to make mistakes. It is human to make mistakes. Nobody is
Yes.
perfect. In today's world, the children are expected to do the best in academics, the best in sports, the best in co-curricular activities. So they themselves have a lot of expectation from themselves. So we need to just stress on this, that it is okay to falter, it is okay to fail once in a while. The important thing is to get it out of your system and move on, not be
Yeah.
stuck with your failure. Learn from it and go to the next success. And this is something that even the parents need to be counseled, that undue pressure on the students to do well academically or otherwise. We understand that it's a very, very competitive world out there, but you just see 12th standard, 10th standard, especially 12th standard, with the NEET, PG and all these various exams, they are under so much
So
stress.
much
Day by
stress.
day, adolescent suicides are on the rise. So this is a very, very important thing that we should never neglect. When we go for our school counseling, tell students it's okay. You are, it's okay to fail. Talk about it. Go, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, or talk to your doctors. Get it out of your system. This is and it's okay to feel bad. We teach the boys, रोने का नहीं, तुम मर्द है क्या? So it's okay, मर्द को भी दर्द हो सकता है. This is, we need to tell that even the boys are allowed to cry. They're allowed to feel bad. You feel bad, you cry about it, you talk about it, and get it out of your system. Don't keep it pent up, because that is going to be more harmful.
Yeah, very well said.
Yeah.
And I think we are short of time now.
Yes.
So there is one important part of the well-being of the youth, that is the physical health and lifestyle. And for this well-being, the crucial sleep time or the proper sleep timing is very important. And nowadays, the sleeping time is reducing day by day because of the long use of this mobile.
Screen time.
The night screen time is increasing, and that's why to get on in the bed at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then getting very difficulty while waking up in the morning. It is the common problem nowadays in the youth, so that should be taken care. Then the diet is very important aspect, because nutrition is the most important medicine, I can say, in anybody's life. So the family have great responsibility as well as the role in managing the proper diet in the amongst the youth. And then comes the role of physical activity. So minimum 60 minutes physical activity in any way, not only by joining the gym or something like that, but even by doing the sports or the outdoor sports, for example the cricket or this soccer or lawn tennis or any kind of that. And then the walking or swimming or dancing can be they can have, and they can have the 60 minutes moderate to vigorous activity every day. So these all are the things which are very important. And then practical strategy to prevent the substance abuse in the form of the vaping and drugs. Dr. Narendra Malhotra have elaborated all these points. That is also a very important point. So I think there are multiple aspects we should take care in regard to the youth for their social well-being. So I think now everybody, every panelist, I will request to give them one important take-home message from your side to maintain the social and environmental well-being of the today's youth. So starting from Sudhir Shah, sir.
Sudhir is not there.
Deepak sir.
Deepak sir. Okay. I would say just say one thing. Respect the youth, respect their views, don't be judgmental.
Correct, sir. Soma. Dr. Soma.
More open discussion between the parents and the youth should needed.
Right, healthy discussions. Akash.
Yes, I think we covered all topics like a good diet, a good exercise, and having good relationships with your parents and your friends, and friends as in the real circle around you, not just the ones on social media. They're not.
Mihir.
So what I think is my take-home message would be that we should encourage the youth to ask for help. There is no shame in asking for help, and we should always be there to guide them and encourage them to take any, like, we always be there. They should never be afraid to ask us of any help. That is what I think.
Very right. Bharti madam.
Bharti has left, I think, Girish.
Bharti madam had to leave. She has put in a message.
Dr. Ami.
I think the kids should know and the youth should know that their safest place is their home. Home should be their safest place. They should feel safe when they come home. And they should be able to tell their parents, and there should be a way of communication amongst them.
Correct. Dr. Supriya Arwari.
I think more than the adolescent, the people around them should be, taught to attend to their needs. The teachers, the parents, and us as caregivers. We also need to have more awareness about adolescent physical and mental health. And it is so heartening to, hear Shantak ma'am say that even FIGO has now taken adolescent health very seriously. And really, really, it's a great thing that we are all here discussing adolescent health. That is what even sometimes I find that even gynecologists are very, not very receptive about adolescent health. We need to take them seriously. We need to treat them as an individual, respect their wishes, and open channels for that.
Very well said. Suchitra madam.
I would like to say that, young people and adolescents, please don't think that your parents or your seniors are your enemies. They are for you, they are with you. So please make them your friends and confide in them. In time of crisis, they will be your best help. And if you feel you're staying in a hostel, then it's your teachers. And if you feel you're not in a hostel and you're not in a position to speak to your parents, then an elder brother, elder friend, elder sibling, they are of value. But किसी से तो बात करो. Don't just keep it to yourself.
Supriya Jaiswal madam.
Yeah, the adolescents are very, very sensitive, and we need to go to their level to talk to them. Let them speak out. Don't make them scared. Don't be judgmental. And once you start preaching, they will look through you. They will not listen anything. So be friendly with them, and we can do everything to help them out.
Correct. And I will say that when a parent can be a good friend of their kids, if the parent can be a good teacher of their kids, and if the parents can be a good parents of that kids, then it is very likely to get. I mean that boy or a girl, they will definitely have the social well-being with them throughout the life. So the parents have the basic and most important role in the future of every youth. That is my take home. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Very
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. I think that was an
good.
excellent panel. And Girish, thanks for involving Girish and Supriya. Thanks for involving everybody from all different ages. And our young representatives, Akash Patki and Mihir Balsarkar. And of course, Deepak Bhai, who was the best person for remembering everyone's birthdays.
Ma'am, Aditya had also joined. He was there all throughout, but I think he was
Oh,
not asked any question at all.
oh,
In
but
fact, they just
nobody.
introduced me only.
Oh
Oh, so
my,
sorry.
you said that he was not
Okay,
joining, so
okay.
I
No,
told him he's not.
No,
Okay, Aditya,
he's going.
Girish, I want
Yes,
you
yes.
to
No,
ask
no, no,
him
no.
one question.
Correct, correct,
Aditya,
correct. No, no, no.
Aditya,
That in fact that will be our
Yeah, there he is. He joined for a few
Yeah.
minutes and I don't know where he escaped.
yeah, Aditya, because Preeti told me you're not joining, that's why I didn't. Aditya, please speak up.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Ah,
Yes.
yeah.
Aditya.
Yeah.
I will ask you one very
This is
nice
our
question.
handsome young
Aditya,
guy. Yes.
Aditya, first of all, extremely sorry we couldn't recognize your presence. See, Aditya,
No, no,
many
not a
youth,
problem at all. It
they
was a
feel
very
pressure.
productive discussion.
Many youth, they always feel pressure that they should be available every time online, isn't it? So how can they establish and communicate the healthy take boundaries with the friends, with the peers, with the parents, with the teachers, with their own academics and everything? I mean, how a youth should handle this availability online every
Sir, I
time?
think this needs to start at home from quite an early age, and it needs to not be very restrictive because ultimately, when children get into when they get into a teenage age, they tend to become quite rebellious. So, no matter how much you try to inculcate these values, if their peers and in the school something else is going on, then they are going to do whatever they want to behind your back. And nowadays, I mean, even if you try to keep any screen time, any sort of restrictive apps, they are smart enough to find their ways around it. So I think it needs to be done in a way so that they understand that it's okay to be using these platforms and these things for a positive way, and even for fun it's okay for your entertainment, whether you're watching any YouTube videos or on Instagram, or you're using it to boost your own presence online, but it needs to be done in a controlled manner. And I think this needs to start by educating even parents. And as someone mentioned, I think a very good way to do it is maybe at the open house days at school, so that both parents and teachers are on the same level when it comes to communicating to the children.
Correct. So many times you see the youth or any young person, if they are getting some kind of stress, for example, before going to the exam or before facing any interview, correct? So they may face some kind of like stress. So I have already shared that presentation. So what are the three quick on-spot techniques to get rid of those stress? Can you please elaborate?
Sorry?
See, for example, before going to exam or before facing any interview, if you are getting some kind of stress, so is there any technique to get relieved from that stress? Do you know that those techniques?
I think some techniques would be, so I think I think it starts from maybe the parental pressure, that it's important for the children to understand that it's okay to fail. It's okay to, not have the best marks compared to your peer group, but it's more important to be confident and know that you've put your best foot forward.
Right. And see, everybody knows that to consume the drugs or to consume the alcohol or to do something, for example, premarital sexual actions, all these things are bad. But most of the boys and girls, they are getting indulged in it, correct? So it is because of the peer pressure. Everybody knows that. So there are three kinds of peer pressure: the neutral peer pressure, positive peer pressure, and negative peer pressure. So what is the technique of getting away from the negative peer pressure? What that boy or a girl should teach about?
I think they need to be taught that it's important to know the difference between right and wrong, and there's a
Right.
limit, and there should be hard limits set
Very
to
right.
maintain your own house's values and your own to not overstep your own boundaries. And because see, at certain ages, maybe from the age of 13 to 20, kids are not really going to understand this until they grow up later, and they then look back at it and realize that they've made certain mistakes. So I think it's important to communicate this in a certain way. And I mean, I think there are more senior people here who would be able
Correct.
to give those techniques better, because I think I'm also too young of an age to really understand how to communicate that. Because most children will understand only on a surface. They will say, yes, yes, I understand, but then it comes out in one ear and goes out of the other.
Right.
Girish, I think he gave us a very right answer in the sense he said, you know your limit.
Yes.
Exactly,
There'll
sir.
never
That
be
is what I was
there
expecting.
then
That
there
is
will
what
be
I'm
never a peer
expecting.
pressure.
Yes, you
It
should
is
know your
never
limits.
try to compete with someone else. Compete with yourself.
Exactly. You
This is
should
another
know your
thing.
alisha, that's a very perfect answer, Aditya, from you, and really
Adesha, you said
I
it very
appreciate that.
rightly. Yes.
Correct, correct. And you should listen to your gut feeling and not to the your friends. And you should learn to say a big no whenever you are not feeling
Yes.
well. And the things which you are not comfortable to share with your parents, you should not get indulged on this all these inactivities. Okay, very simple.
The
So I
saying no is the biggest, the boldest thing you can do in this world, and the happiest person you are going to be.
yes,
And so, just to add to that, I think I've seen a lot of children, especially at a young age, even as young as fifth standard or smaller, get bullied. And it may not even be, a traditional bullying, what we might think. So, it could just be on a softer level. However, at that young of an age, it could really have a big impact on the way that they develop mentally. And that causes them to shut down, and then they start believing that everything that happens in their peer group is the word of God, and they will then want to recreate that, and they will want to, they start putting their own peers on a pedestal, which is not right. So I think it's important for even at that stage for teachers to step in and understand what's going on in the classroom.
correct,
And
correct.
I just wanted to ask Girish, I mean, if with your permission, Aditya and Akash both, I mean, y'all are all at that, that a young age group. If you all find that this kind of a bullying is happening, say to somebody around you, what action can you take? You are a little more senior to them, but you find that this is happening to them. What action would you suggest should be taken? Aditya first and then Akash.
I think it's important to just step up, not only for yourself, but also for others. And step up doesn't always mean in a physical sense, or, you don't have to necessarily be aggressive, but it's as simple as informing a higher authority, informing maybe a teacher, or maybe even a parent, your own parent. If then maybe your parent could then reach out to the other kids' parents, and then that could be handled in a better manner.
Very right.
Right. And Akash, what do you think?
I think, like Aditya said, stepping up is very important. Just because it's not affecting you doesn't mean you should let it go. You should have to step up. And there's always, if it's happening in college, there's always a senior authority. There's always someone you can go to. Most institutions nowadays have anti-ragging committees, and there's always someone to reach out to. There's always, if you ask for help, there's always help available in some form.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
this
I
was very good discussion.
Yeah.
So it's almost 7:15. We were supposed to end up by 6:55. So we have already consumed more than 20 minutes. So I think we should stop now. Okay. Over to you, MOCs. And Aditya, extremely sorry, beta. It was not
No problem
intentional
at all. No
text.
problem at
Yeah.
all.
Oh, but then at the last time only you came and you have answered so well. You gave
Exactly.
your inputs.
And Aditya, your future is very bright, huh?
Thank you.
Look at the
Thank
face of
you.
Priti. Then we can know about how happy she is.
Yeah. So you look like a friend of your mom.
No, but
Thank
the
you so
take-home
much.
message that you gave was very good, Aditya.
Very nice.
That was
What
a very good
Aditya and Akash said, it reminds me of a dialogue from Harry Potter, that it takes a great man to stand up for himself, but it takes a greater man to stand up for others. So, actually, that is what that just because it does not harm us does not mean that we should take, turn a blind eye, and we must try to help. In fact, this is something that even I stress, that not only about bullying, it's something like sexual abuse. If you know it is happening with somebody in and around you, your friends or somebody are facing it, help them to step up, help them to come out and approach authorities so that they can get help. Sometimes one single person feels helpless, but maybe two or three people getting together a team
So
of
here
sorts.
we,
So that
yeah.
was a
So here
wonderful
we,
point brought out. And
correct. So here we end our
sorry.
discussion with the special congratulations to Aditya, Akash, and Mihir, and special thanks to Suchitra madam for giving us three so cute panelists with us.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Suchitra madam. Thanks a lot.
Upcoming adolescent health talent.
But
Yes.
really, Suchitra madam, it was lovely connecting to these new boys, Akash, Meher, and
No,
Aditya.
but we
All
learn
of
so
them
much
were
from them,
excellent.
It's fun to
Yeah.
listen to what they have to say.
Exactly.
And of course, it's fun to listen to our seniors, Deepak Bhai and Girish. Nicely, you could, coordinate everything
It
and
was
make
a
it.
problem of my
Yeah.
new MacBook. Actually, I am using this MacBook for first time, so I was not able to share the screen.
Maybe you should have asked the boys. They would have told you.
something new, something to learn every time, Girish.
Yeah.
Exactly, sir. At the age of
This,
52, it's very difficult to
For
take
a
the
for an
screen.
important meeting like this, they will bring your new things to show off.
No problem.
but then the discussion was good, open discussion, madam.
I think
Very nice.
instead of seeing the slides, I think this was really good.
This
Turned
was
out to be
good.
Yeah.
better.
This was
Thank
good
you.
because
Thank
we
you.
could hear everything nicely. And I would
Yes.
like to thank everybody. Aditya, Akash, Mihir,
Ami was
Supriya,
there.
Girish, and Deepak Bhai.
No,
And
Suchitra,
Bharti was also there.
Suchitra, it
And
was really a pleasure. Girish, wonderful. Supriya, thank you very much for
Soma
the
had to leave
contribution.
also.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
Actually, Supriya Jaiswal madam told me in the morning that she has gone through her voice, so most of the things I should carry, and that is the reason why she was not able to speak.
No, actually, she is trying for voice modulation. Girish, you don't know.
No.
So next time you are going to
So,
listen to a beautiful voice, you just wait.
no, sir. From morning, Suchitra madam, I had been doing garglings, kind
I
water,
can
so that
understand.
this much I could
You
speak.
could be at
Otherwise,
least, yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, you joined the
No, but
program. That is more important.
that is
yeah.
important. And I thank everybody for being here. Thanks to both the conveners. Thanks to both the MOCs, Preeti Vyas and Supriya Arwari. And of course, thanks to Dr.
Thank you,
Parag and
ma'am, for
Sarita for
giving us
giving us
the
information.
opportunity.
And I wish
I
Preeti you
also
had
thank you.
reminded us earlier. And
No,
Ragini is
I was
also there.
trying
Ragini.
to, I tried butting in twice, but I think they couldn't hear me. Because
They couldn't
I
hear
could
you.
see Aditya was there online. He was there, in fact, for my lecture also.
Yeah. But Aditya joined and gave a nice sixer. So, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
Ragini madam has also joined. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, she's there.
Thank you. Thank you, Ragini.
Thank you.
You want to say something before we sign off, Ragini?
Ragini madam.
Yeah. पहले तो I am extremely sorry not able to join in
But we heard
time.
you.
हाँ मुझे लग रहा था उस जगह पे ना गांव में मिले. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a
No,
great
but this is
program.
all the product of the
Thank
youth
you.
cell. So
Yes.
we'll have a
for
full-fledged
joining
program.
Yes,
Yeah.
madam. So,
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Preeti,
Thank
you
you,
also very
everyone.
good. All the
Let
best.
me thank the FOGSI and ICOG team, and particularly Suchitra ma'am for bringing this wonderful concept right from its conception to delivering it in such a wonderful manner. Madam, thank you, and really hats off to your passion for adolescent health and the well-being of youth. Thank you to Sunita Tandurkar madam, Suvarna, and entire FOGSI team. Thanks to Dr. Parag, Dr. Sarita, and ICOG team. Thank you to our conveners for today, Dr. Suchitra ma'am and co-convener Shanta ma'am, the coordinators, Dr. Supriya Jaiswal and Dr. Girish Mane, my co-MOC Preeti. A big thanks to all the faculty members, the chairpersons, the speakers, the moderators, and the panelists. And last but not the least, a wonderful thank you to all the spectators, all of you who have joined in. If it is not for you, our efforts will not be of any effect. So thank you for joining us and listening to us patiently. Thank you, ma'am, particularly for the opportunity to be a master of ceremonies for such a wonderful program, and looking forward to continuing these kind of programs in the future, in the next 3 years that I will be chairing adolescent health. A really wonderful concept, and I'm sure we'll carry it forward as a team. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, and I want to also say that we had Ami Surti. She also had a very bad cold, but she says, "Ma'am, I just joined for a little while." So Supriya, you have a a companion with the same problem.
Okay, yes.
So good night. Good night.
Okay.
Good night. Thank
Good
you.
night, Dr. Chinmay. She's there driving. Bye. Good night.
Yes, now going to airport back to
Yeah.
Hyderabad. No, it was wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, ma'am.
Nilima. Thank you,
Thank you,
Nilima,
thank
and
you,
the
thank you,
ICOG
thank you very
backend
much.
team. They have done a
Nilima.
fantastic job. Thank you, Nilima. We always bank on you for all our ICOG masterclasses. Always she is at the back end silently
Yeah.
working. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you everybody. I wouldn't, I think, like to repeat all the time because Supriya has already done the honor. But I think it was wonderful connecting with everybody. Okay. Thank you. Well, I'm in the train actually traveling.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, you're traveling since 2 hours.